Welcome to the place where dreams come true, where everything you want can be yours, if and only if you're willing to work for them, you're willing to hurt for them, but most of all, you're willing to be first for them. Ha! Look, I'm going straight to the top. I don't know how I would stop, like it or not. I got some goals that I'm hitting. You hear what I'm spitting? It's hot. Look what I got. Whole lot of passion and pain. The road to success is insane. Stay out my lane, cause I'm on a mission. I'm getting what stands in my way. Yeah, I'm a beast. I wouldn't play with me, baby. The way that I'm training is crazy, and I do it daily. You wanna talk about drive? I got more drive than Mercedes. I've never been lazy. I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt, push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Yeah, I gotta be first. Look, I don't want anyone's sympathy. I understand what is meant for me. I give my focus and energy. If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. But mentally, I'm undefeated. They hear that and say I'm conceited. Like there's no reason. Like I don't beat them and come back again just to teach them that when you work under pressure, you reach higher measures. They'll try and bring you down, but you cannot let them, and only get better and focus on cheddar. Eye on the prize and you'll become a legend. Like, when I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt, push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Yeah, I gotta be first. They don't know what's gotten into me, how'd I turn pain into energy. Through all the struggle and hurt, remember my worth, and that's why I gotta be first.
Get it, I'm on the mission, snap any minute, casually winning. Stop tripping on me, stop dissing on me. Yeah, I got a dream, can't take it from me. My fire's burning, now I'm always learning. Tell me where to go, man, I'm on a journey. Yeah, I can't explain it, I get excited. Keep it 300, King Leonidas. Strap in, cause it's gonna be a long ride. Working on me every single day and night. There comes a time when your worlds will collide. If it's holding you back, push it right to the side. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. I don't got the time, put me in, coach. I've been going hard, time to let it show. Everything raw, give it to me now. Let me have the spot, man, it's going down. Gotta get it here, I don't wanna wait. Take what I want, then I go train. Gotta get a win, I won't lose the game. This is my year, I ain't gonna break. Strap in, cause it's gonna be a long ride. Working on me every single day and night.
Won't stop going till a player on top know it. Rooftop, penthouse suite. If you really want it, gotta own it. Fire through it, we was at the lowest. Blood, sweat, tears, the components. Riding all year, now's the moment. We are not friends, we are opponents. Yeah, I'm coming for mine. Yeah, I'm making a play, the game on the line. Yeah, I've been on the grind. Yeah, I jump in the spot, I made it my time. Yeah, look in the sky. Yeah, the stars align, no shade to shine. Can't stop it already. Emotional work and devotion, we put in this time. Look. You won't stop my stride. I'll just break your line. I don't tolerate wasted time. Take us down, keep fighting.
ladies and gentlemen, it is time for another day and another game in the Snapdragon Pro Series. And today, that game is Asphalt 9. And I have been looking forward to this one for quite some time. I'm your host, Glitter Explosion, and today I am joined by Hot Jukes and Marf, and I am excited. Are you guys hyped?
Dude, I'm so stoked. My first time ever casting Asphalt 9 with none other than the legend himself, Marf. What's up, bro? How you doing?
I am so excited to be here. This is going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to some action-packed races. We're going to have a great time, and I'm so excited to be here with you guys.
Let's get
It is most certainly going to be action-packed, and if you guys in chat don't know, Marf's a legend himself. I used to get to talk about him in previous seasons, and now we get to have him up here on the desk. It is an honor, so thank you for joining us.
I love being here. This is awesome.
All right. Let's talk about the day, okay? First of all, if you're wondering how it works, we're going to be doing best of 3 races all day until we get to those grand finals. That will be a best of 5. We've got 2 semis, then we've got the race for 3rd and 4th place, and then those finals, and we will be doing that for both iOS and Android. Now, if you're wondering who's competing, we're going to talk to you a little bit about that as well. We're going to show you both brackets. We're going to be starting with iOS, which will be later in the day, but let's talk about these names.
Yeah, you can see we got a couple monsters here on this list. First off, you know, RPM Mohammed versus Frog Sarong. We got RPML going against Red Fox here, Marv.
Dude, I am loving this lineup. Frogstron is a returning person here at this tournament stage, and honestly, I'm looking for him to take this all the way because he was so close last season. He was so close, and he just couldn't pull it over the line. But honestly, I believe right now, I think he could take it all the way this time.
I mean, we'll have to see. It's going to be very, very exciting. And like I said, these are the iOS. This is the iOS bracket. Now this is the Android bracket here, and this is the one we're going to be starting the day off with.
Take it on over to the big droid. First one's up. It's going to be Elite Joe going against RP and Pickle, and then Diesel Dragon against CJ.
Elite Joe, honestly, he's my favorite for this entire tournament. He's returned again, and he has won these types of tournaments before. He has the experience to back it up. He has the pedigree. He has the titles. He has everything. What does this guy not have? Well, he doesn't have this title, and he's going to come get it.
Ooh, okay, all right, little bit of spice coming, and we'll have to see if he is able to do it, but they're not just playing for these pride points, okay, or for those titles. We have some cash here today. Each bracket has the same amount, and each first place finish will be taking home $1,200. I mean, everybody gets a little bit, but that first place, you know, that's what they're going for, Juice.
Oh, 100%. I mean, $1,200, and remember, this is all on themselves, so they're taking that full prize pool to the bank, you know, and good to see that at least they're going to get $200, you know, even if they have a bad day today, but you know they want that extra grand on top of it. Bam.
I like that money.
Bam. That's good money. that is good money. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, all right. Now that everybody knows how this works, you guys have a little bit of a breakdown. I want to talk to you two a little bit. We saw lots of recognizable names in those brackets. Like we said, we've got Android coming up right around the corner. So I actually want to ask you which player you're keeping your eyes on for that Android bracket.
Okay, when it comes to Android, I got to look at none other than Diesel Dragon, all right? Like you said, this is his first time, right? I want to see him get that first win. He's got that hunger, that drive. He made it all the way here, and I want to see him hit that finish line first.
I mean, he's had some really clean laps, especially here. We'll take a look at this qualifying lap from Diesel Dragon, and this is some of the cleanest racing I have seen. Now, this track in particular, it's very easy to learn, but it's extremely hard to master, and later on we'll see him pull off some sick stunts, some rail riding, and some speed tricks that we haven't really seen before, or at least for a really long time, and he pulled out all of the stops. You'll see here in a sec. He goes onto this railing, gets an insane amount of airspeed. Look at that, a crazy move coming out here by Diesel Dragon, and he has the fire, he has the hunger. I believe last tournament he placed, but he didn't win. And so, like some of these competitors here, he's looking to take the W, and again, pulling out all the stops. He had nothing, this was an insane lap, and honestly, it was such a great thing to watch, and he did such a great job.
All right, I like that pick, Juice.
Yep.
I like the pick, and we'll have to see, like you guys are saying, if he's able to bring home that first title. But Marf, of course, you have your own pick of which player you'd like to keep your eyes on.
Elite Joe is my pick for this bracket. There's 2 brackets going on, kind of confusing, but Elite Joe, like I said before, he has won multiple times here, and he has that competence, he has confidence, and he has experience, and if he can bring his A game again, which I'm sure he can, he's not going to be nervous. He's just going to be coming here to grab that easy money again and again. We've seen it multiple times. Now this on Rome, this was an interesting spin here, but this is one of those tracks where you can easily mess up, and so it takes these players a lot of practice to get to know this track. And honestly, this route right here, it actually quite developed early on in the meta. We haven't seen this before, So these players are pulling out new stops, new routes, and I'm really excited to see what he can do at this tournament. Like I said, he's won here multiple times. This is his playground. He's coming here to fight, and honestly, I can see him taking this very easily.
Okay, all right. So we'll have to see which one of your picks takes this one home, or maybe it ends up not being one of your picks. It's going to be a really fun day, and we'll have to see how it pans out. You know what? Crazier things have happened here, okay? This is the one place for players to come back, make a name for themselves, whether they are our returning veterans or they are new faces on the scene, and that's what we love about this so much. Now, if you guys are wondering the times, maybe, that our top 4 got in order to qualify here today, these are those runs that got them what they needed to be here. And we see this time and time again, Marv. When it comes down to this top 4, we're separated by hundredths of a second.
I mean, we're counting frames at this point. I mean, frame by frame, these players are almost so identical in their routes until just into the very end, you can spot these little differences, these little tips and tricks that these players do to separate themselves from the lower pack of players. And yeah, milliseconds, frames, that's what we're talking about in terms of differences.
It's going to be an incredibly good matchup. And speaking of good matchups, the first one of the day is going to be Elite Joe and Pickle. Now, you got to give us a little bit of an insight on Joe already, as he is your player to watch for this bracket. So now let's talk about Pickle.
Yeah, Pickle has been participating in this tournament for a while, and he has returning. I believe last time he got 3rd, if I'm not mistaken, so this time he's going to have that hunger, that fire to try and take that first place from Joe. Honestly, trying to topple that champion there, but yeah, again, Joe with that experience, honestly, this is going to be a great matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you've got to feel a little bit of added pressure when you're going up against somebody like Joe, with how many times we've seen Joe here, but some people are really, really good at rising in those moments. I mean, you love those types of situations, Juice.
Oh, 100%. I mean, this is going to be a close one from start to finish. I mean, it's so crazy to see the level of effort and time that these players put into every single game that they played. You can see here the tracks that we're going to see here. We're going to start off with none other than Auckland, Scotland, and remember, this is best of 3, so if it does end up a tie for those first 2 maps, we're going to end it off in Nevada. What do you think we're going to see here, Marv? You think we're going to see a complete wipe by Elite Joe? Or?
Honestly, this is a tough call because this is a very wide variety of track types here. We got some twists and churns. We got a lot of different variety coming out here. Nevada at the end is a really good place for these players to let those engines roar in those straightaways. And honestly, I could see this going the full distance. Like I said, Elite Joe, he has that experience, but there's some hunger coming out with these players, and it's going to be spicy.
Well, we will have to see if it does go the full 3-0. But of course, chat, we want to know what you guys think. Who do you think is going to be taking home the first race of the day? Let us know down below in that Twitch poll. Cast your vote. Will it be Pickle or will it be Elite Joe? I mean, you heard lots of facts and information about both of those players, so we'll have to see which you end up choosing, because that first race is underway. Take it away, boys.
Ooh, here we go, Mar. First game of that. We can see right now, Pickle starting off strong.
Yeah, he's coming out here on the wide bends here, going off that ramp, using Shockwave. Pickle got that early lead, and this is going to be interesting because Auckland is one of the newer tracks, so these players, they've had some time to pick and choose their routes, get familiar with this track, but it's still yet undiscovered, and what I'm really curious about is if they're going to pull out anything crazy that we haven't seen before. Elite Joe almost with that barrel roll. Shockwave catching up to Pickle here as they go around this sharp turn here. Pickle getting that outside, Joe getting that inside, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to take advantage of that as they are basically neck and neck here. This is some intense action here. They are almost bumper to bumper here. At any time, Pickle, if he makes a mistake, this is going to be the end of this race, or at least this lap. Elite Joe's going to be trailing behind him. Now, there is no slipstream mechanic in this game at the moment. Oh, and Elite Joe, he takes the lower route while Pickle takes the higher route. That's going to give him some more airspeed, so this lead has been slightly extended as Elite Joe pulls out the Shockwave coming in here through this ramp. And that double barrel roll for Pickle is going to give him a bit more nitro as we come in here into this 180-degree bend. Again, both these players, they're very close to each other, and because they know these routes pretty perfectly, this is going to be interesting to see how they take the second lap. And for a lot of these races, you don't get a lot of momentum on the second lap, but here we're going full stop, full speed, and looks like Joe, he's going to take that drift here, but he does that little nitro punch that allows him to get a bit more speed. And Elite Joe coming in on the second lap, he's still really close behind. Pickle takes that early lead again in this lap. And honestly, this is really close at the moment. I'm not seeing these players take a lot of risk, which is really interesting. And yeah, this is really interesting to see Pickle pulling out that double barrel roll. What do you think,
Oh, it's getting so close right now. Pickle is gonna get passed up. Joe has finally come across it. Now Pickle is running fast, trying to do anything he can to possibly pass him up. What is it gonna take for him to possibly get this lead back?
Elite Joe is extremely good at taking these leads pretty early on, but he waited for the perfect moment, and now he's in the lead. Shockwave here, he can't get knocked down, and he took that lead with confidence, and now I am sure he's not going to make any mistakes here. He is so good at holding these leads, pulling his players back behind him and making sure they don't pass him. Coming out here with Shockwave onto this nether bend here, going through one of the final laps. Oh my god, Joe, he misses the barrel roll there. That's going to cause him to miss out on some nitro. He has to take this drift a bit longer than normal.
Oh,
Pickle about to pick out, and the knockdown. Oh my gosh.
So close, and then here comes Pickle at the end, but it looks like Elite Joe is just running away with this one at this point, and that is the finish. Elite Joe getting it done, Marv.
You can see that emoji that Elite Joe used at the end there. That BM, that was great to see. He knew that knockdown was basically the first place decider there, but what an insane race. This was crazy to watch. I think this is one of the cleanest races we've ever seen here. There were no crazy stunts being pulled out. Again, Auckland, it's one of those tracks that we haven't seen too much of in competition, but these players mastered it perfectly. Elite Joe with such clean lines going into this race, and honestly, I think it was that moment that he overtook Pickle where he just like, well, there you go. I mean,
that's it.
He just kept the lead going, and when the time came, he had to knock him down in order to secure that first place victory.
Wow, what a finish. What a finish there from Elite Joe. I mean, you said this guy is the reigning champ. He just came in this one and just took it away. Took it away. But it was close. I mean, Pickle had the lead for quite a while there.
Honestly, like I said, these players were so clean in their racing that at any time it was very, honestly, it was hard to tell. But that small section where Elite Joe just passed him around the inside, that decided it right there, and then he just secured the victory with that knockdown at the end. It was very clean.
Yeah, and you can see Pickle was just trying to make something happen in his own right, you know, try to make something stop, but just Pickle knocking him down there towards the end. Nothing you could really do, you know. But hey, he's going to go ahead and take this one at the start, but Pickle got one more race, right? One more race to definitely come back. He has to win this one, right? So he has to win this one, or Elite Joe is moving on to the next round.
We could see this. Basically, I guess it would be a reverse sweep, but it's a best of three. We're going to go ahead into this second match here, I believe. And here we go on Scotland. This is another interesting track. And here we go. Elite Joe going to be starting out neck and neck. Pickle taking a bit of an early lead here. Not sure if that's due to the acceleration of these cars, but these cars are pretty agile. They actually have good nitro efficiency, handling. The top speed isn't really the factor. Oh my gosh, some collision. No knockdown though, so these players are going to keep it clean as they head into this barrel roll section here. Pickle almost on top of Joe. He did miss that jump, so he's going to lack in that nitro. They go ahead and into this shipwreck area here. Pickle just barely behind. I think it was due to that missed barrel roll there, but it looks like he's gained some confidence. He has some momentum here, and Elite Joe's going to be pulling out this victory. Even more, Pickle using the wall ride. This is going to let him catch up maybe ever so slightly, but Joe took that bend a bit closer to the inside. Pickle with some shockwaves, trying to get some airspeed here over that bump. And Elite Joe, I don't know what he's doing, but he's keeping this lead so well. I mean, from my perspective, Pickle's lines here are perfect. Hot Jukes, what is happening here? Because Elite Joe is pulling out this lead, and he's just keeping it.
I mean, he's just holding on to this one so brutally, and it's completely different from the first match, right? I mean, Pickle was leading the entire time. Elite Joe came right at the end, and now you can just see Pickle's trying to do the same thing, but what is it going to take, Mark? What is it going to take?
Oh, that is heartbreaking. Pickle had the opportunity there. He had a lot of barrel rolls to get some nitro, but that wreck is going to cost him. And now Elite Joe, the pressure is on him, because if he wins this, he's going to take the W, but he can't make a single mistake. Even though Pickle is pretty far behind him, if Elite Joe makes an egregious error here, Pickle does have the opportunity to pick up the lead, but Elite Joe, he is not not making any mistakes whatsoever.
I think this is basically the victory lap here at this point, right? I mean,
oh,
he's just
Pickle!
running another mistake coming out here. The nerves. I mean, so much pressure put on, all to come out to just a couple of minutes. And you can just see Elite Joe. He's been here before. He's done it. And just having that confidence, right? Just being able to take that title once. I mean, he's got to be just running away with this one at this point, right? Oh.
And there we go.
Oh.
Yeah, it was interesting. That kind of interesting final victory stunt there. Pickle going to be finally crossing the finish line here. A pretty big difference in lap time just because of that one wreck. But overall, this was some clean racing. I was surprised that Elite Joe took that early lead and kept it.
Yeah, I mean, he just held on to it the whole way, like you mentioned. I mean, we saw some really clean lines coming out of Pickle, but just couldn't get it done. And That's what's so tough, right? When you're behind, is you kind of leave yourself in a desperate situation to pull something crazy off, and just one little slight mistake, one little tiny tilt of that phone, and you are out of there.
Coming out of the gates hot.
Yep.
Okay, we knew that Joe had a lot of experience that Pickle was going to have to contend with, and it was hard. You know, huge kudos to Joe though, looking very confident, very, very solid, who will be moving now forward through the bracket. So we'll have to see who ends up going up against Joe in those finals. Okay.
Yep.
So you can see here, it'll be reflected. Joe moving on to the finals. Pickle will now be fighting for that 3rd place match. All right, and now we're going to be moving down to the Diesel Dragon versus CJ
baby.
matchup. Okay, and this is where your pick will come into play, Juke. So we're going to talk about these two, and we'll start with CJ.
All right, Marv, what are you thinking about CJ?
Well, honestly, I don't believe we've seen him here before in this level of competition. So just like with some previous tournaments, these new blood players, we're going to be interested to see if they can really take it very far. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Diesel Dragon, look, I love an underdog story, all right? So far, we see Elite Joe, you know, just run away with this one here at the top. You know, Pickle's going to have to stay in his jar for a little bit while, hopefully possibly pop back out, get that 3rd place finish, right? But, you know, Diesel Dragon, this is my pick. I think he has what it takes, especially looking back, you know, at his original qualifying time. I think he's got it here.
I mean, again, we've talked about clean racing, and honestly, that's going to be a pretty common theme here, just because these players are so perfect. Like, they know the routes really well, and they play these races hundreds and hundreds of times in order to get these perfect laps going. And CJ doing a really great job in Shanghai, making sure that he can show the world that he can do these perfect laps as well and compete with some of the veterans here at this tournament.
Yeah, it's going to be another solid race. And if you're wondering what tracks they're on, well, we have that information for you as well. It's going to be the same situation, Auckland, Scotland, and Nevada for the tiebreaker. If we make it to the tiebreaker, and now that we got to see the first set of races on these tracks, you kind of know what to look for now, because you were saying that obviously they're a little bit less time on Auckland, a little bit newer track, right?
Right, and so again, these players, the most important thing for Auckland are the racing lines. It's sort of modeled after real racetracks, which is really interesting. And so racing lines are actually more important in this track than ever before in an asphalt track, which is really cool. So honestly, I'm looking forward to see what these players do in terms of Auckland. And I was not expecting as close as it was on Auckland. So this is going to be really interesting to see if the new blood of CJ can keep up with Diesel Dragon and his ferocious, I guess, path to possibly a first-time victory here.
I need you to inject all of your Asphalt 9 knowledge just into my brain.
Yes.
Because you are able to retain so much information. Please, can you just show me the way, Senpai? Please?
Oh, man, I don't know if I can do that mind games over here.
Gotta get that connection going somehow, right? You know, that's great. But you were actually attempted to qualify for this bad boy as well, huh?
Yes, I did. So I did compete in a couple of these tournaments here, these qualifiers. I was a couple of seconds behind, but it wasn't that big of a gap. And it was really fun to play with these qualifiers, competing against these players to get to the top moments, top qualifiers, top times, top everything, because these players are so good.
It's crazy.
I was sort of surprised that, unfortunately, I couldn't keep up. They just pulled out some stuff that I had never seen in my life. I was so amazed. Like, they can do that? It was crazy.
Well, you know what? We're going to get to see it here firsthand. So you got the best seat in the house right here.
Let's go.
I am so stoked. Let's get it going. Diesel Dragon versus CJ. Here we go.
Again, here on Auckland, looking to be a pretty close race. Again, these racing lines are so important. You actually see them going over the barrier here. And quite a lot of times you'll see players avoid rough terrain, but there isn't quite much of it here in Auckland. Going off the double barrel roll, Diesel Dragon right behind CJ. No shockwave, so a bit of a loss there in airspeed, but I don't think it'll matter in the end. Slowly catching up to CJ, but that shockwave there, bit of a gap going through this green flare section. And I mean, there isn't much to say at the moment just because these players are taking these lines perfectly. The lead of CJ, it's still there, but not very big because of the speed that these players are going at. The lead can be a bit deceptive, so any tiny mistake that CJ makes, Diesel Dragon can take advantage of that.
We saw it in the first match, right? We saw him, you know, Elite Joe was behind all of a sudden at one point. took over the lead and kept it. So here comes Diesel Dragon coming around. Nice little 360 there.
Ooh.
Getting some of that boost. Ooh, Marp, what do you see?
Well, honestly, he did a little ledge jump that we saw earlier on in one of the qualifying laps. That gave CJ a bit more airtime. Diesel Dragon had to make up for that by doing 360s. This lead is going to be extended a bit more, but again, it's so small that at any moment, CJ, if he makes any sort of mistake, Diesel Dragon can take advantage of that as we come into the final hairpin corner here. Going the reverse way of actually our previous match, and right out of it, going into Shockwave. This next lap here, Diesel Dragon gets a lot of airspeed. Yeah, CJ didn't take that, so Diesel Dragon's going to be pulling up just ever so slightly here to CJ as we pull into the second straightaway of our second lap, excuse me.
Yeah, CJ's gonna go ahead and catch that ramp as well, get that barrel roll going, and he is just trying to hold on to this lead, doing everything he can. So far, so good, though. I mean, this is looking picture perfect for CJ.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, modeled after a real racetrack, this Auckland circuit does require these perfect racing lines. So there isn't any like crazy jumps or anything like that where players can like pull out some of the most weird stuff we've seen. But again, this track is fairly new. At any moment, they could pull out something that I've never seen before. But Diesel Dragon's going to be still behind CJ. And honestly, CJ, he is just not making any mistakes whatsoever. He is composed. He is collected. This is such a clean race from CJ. Diesel Dragon trying to pull out what CJ did last time, and it looks like it's going to work. He's ever so slightly gaining as they go into this wall ride. Diesel Dragon, can he get enough nitro for Shockwave? And there he goes out onto the straightaway. Ever so slightly behind CJ, but I don't know. If CJ doesn't make a mistake, this is going to be a clean victory for him here.
Well, Diesel Dragon pulled out all the stops right there to try and catch up, and you can see him. He's doing everything he possibly can. He's starting to gain on him little by little, but CJ, he actually catches the ramp, but not going to be able to do it in time. It's going to be CJ taking one. Come on, Diesel Dragon.
There you go. There you have it. Diesel Dragon, the experience, I guess, not playing too much of a factor in this new track, but CJ just held his line impeccably. I mean, there was no mistakes from him whatsoever throughout this game, and we did see a couple of speed tricks that actually Diesel Dragon had to pull out himself in order to try and catch up at the end there, but he just couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it, man. CJ, so this is the first time we just see, right? CJ just right off the rip, completely running away with this one. I mean, coming into this next match, right? So you've been in these scenarios before. What do you have to do, right, to try to get back that momentum, right? You're down a match, right? Talk about like what it feels like to be down one and having to come back and win 2 in a row in reality.
Well, honestly, you have to pull out as many risks as possible. It can be daunting, but if you pull it off perfectly, some amazing stuff can happen. As long as you get that airspeed and that air time, you can pull it off. And CJ, will he get these lines? Will Diesel Dragon be able to keep up? Let's go to this next race to find out.
Let's get into it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This is going to be an intense one coming up right here. So let me ask you this.
Yep.
If you were Diesel Dragon's coach,
okay? I see.
You're over his shoulder, right? You're talking to him. You got him right here. What would you tell him right here going into this next match?
I'd tell him to not be nervous. I'd tell him that
Right,
he needs to pull out everything possible that he could do to get as much speed as possible. He needs to do right here, right now, because he's been in this situation before. Last time he couldn't quite pull it off. This is his time to pull the dub and get into that final with Elite Joe. That would be an insane matchup.
Oh, that would be as well. So going into this second map, right, there are a lot of little, like you mentioned, some things that you've never seen before. What do you feel is like the hardest trick to pull off here in this next map?
I think not necessarily the hardest, but these wall rides on Scotland, they can be really scuffed sometimes. So the players need to be very careful of the lines that they take, because otherwise their car will flip and they'll wreck. And like we saw in that last match on Scotland, well, we'll see it again here possibly, just in case that this wreck happens again, but into Scotland again. And this time, wall ride's not going to be too much of a factor, but we'll have to see what happens, especially at the end. Again, here we go into the second match. Diesel Dragon trying to take over that W to try and stay in this track. He's going to take the early lead here as we go into this short little corner here going up onto this ramp. Now, this is tricky. You can possibly overspin after you land here. CJ going to be taking that pretty perfectly, very clean as they go into this barrel roll here, getting some airspeed after this nitro bottle. And it looks like Diesel Dragon has a bit of a lead here. I think he just got some early nitro time. Wow, look at that. They're going to be doing some Shockwave 360s, getting some extra time. I haven't actually been able to pull that off before, so that was really spicy to see. And they're going to be taking some extremely clean lines, going for the inside. And honestly, pretty similar situation as last time, but Diesel Dragon is in the reverse situation. He's in front. He needs to take every advantage possible and keep this lead. Again, we see that wall ride coming out there from CJ. It's very important on this track, and it looks like he's going to try and take this last barrel roll as we come into the final section of our first lap.
Very slight variations here.
Ooh, that's might be an accidental 360 there. That's going to cost him some time. And as you can see, Diesel Dragon pulling ever so slightly ahead, and this lead has become something where it looks like Diesel Dragon's going to have to make some sort of mistake because on this track, you do have a couple of different speed tricks that you could do. CJ with a bit of an overspin, that's going to be a bit unfortunate for him as he tries to keep up. He's slowly crawling his way back. We can see if by the end of the lap he can do it. But I believe if Diesel Dragon can win this one, we're going to be tied up in this best of 3 here.
Oh, yeah, we could be finally going to see that last and third match. Diesel Dragon still holding on to the lead strong. CJ's trying to do everything he can, but like you mentioned, that possible accidental 360 just cost him big time.
Yeah, when you do a 360 on the ground, that'll actually lose you some speed. So you want to try and do as many in the air as possible and not do them on the ground. As we head into the final section here of our second lap, CJ just can't keep up with Diesel Dragon. It looks like he was angry about that last map.
Yeah.
He wanted to take it this time, take us the distance to this third lap, or this third match, excuse me, and that's exactly what he's going to do. CJ not quite able, and there we go. Diesel Dragon with the W on this second track.
Woo! Diesel Dragon pulling it out from the back. You love to see that right there. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I think it was that little pep talk that you gave him right there, Mark.
I mean, maybe we are telepathically communicated. I think I figured it out from Glitter's advice there, but we did see Diesel Dragon take this W, which was very important. He needed to do that in order to stay in, and he did. And I'm surprised.
I'll tell you what, not a lot of emotes coming from these other players, right? You know, I don't think they want to make any mistakes at all, but I mean, it's so tough. Like you mentioned, just tenths of a second here. You know, you said the word veterans, but I'm looking at aliens here, you know, when it comes to these guys.
There you go,
I
aliens.
mean, seriously. I mean, what are these guys made of? Pulling out this craziness. I mean, one more match. One more match. Who's going to win? Diesel Dragon or CJ? What's your prediction?
Oh, gosh, I'm going to have to go with Diesel Dragon. I just think, especially after that second match there, he's going to gain so much confidence. He knows that he's the experienced player here. CJ, honestly, good luck to him, but I think Diesel Dragon's going to take this last map.
Okay, well, let's see if my pick is going to be able to hold on strong, but it's going to be tough. Like you mentioned, the nerves are going to come into play big time right here. And it's so crazy to think, just the slightest little overturn, and it is all over. But, man, you know, going into this last map, this is the first time we're going to see this here today, right? Mm-hmm. What do you expect to really see here as we go into it? Like any particular, you know, routes that you think of? Just talk to me.
Well, Nevada's actually full of long straightaways broken up by insane hairpin turns, and we'll see that right here at the beginning, a long straightaway, like I said, but there's going to be some hairpin turns coming up pretty shortly, and it's going to depend on whether or not these players either wall ride or if they're going to get the drift in the inside corner to get that shockwave out of it. Looks like they're going for the inside here on this first hairpin turn. Coming into the second one, they're neck and neck collision there, both with shockwave. No knockdowns, though, fortunately for these players, so they're going to be right behind each other. CJ going for that barrel roll onto this dam section. They're going to be getting some airspeed there, going right past the dam and into this straightaway. Again, straightaways broken up with hairpin turns. That is the theme of this track.
Here we go. Now comes that 360 from CJ, getting a whole bunch of boost there. And here he gets it going. Of course, got to give a big thank you to Snapdragon Elite Gaming for putting this one on here. I've had the pleasure of being a Snapdragon insider for quite a while. They actually had some sick giveaways on the channel. Got to make sure you got to get that going because you know what? At this point, looks like Diesel Dragon may have to go get some of those because he is in big trouble here.
Yeah, I mean, on this straightaway section, CJ is maximizing his airspeed and airtime as much as possible. And will he go up this jump? He will. Diesel Dragon, hopefully he'll do that as well to get caught up. Now, this section is interesting. Either they'll see a wall ride or going on the inside, CJ choosing to do the wall ride as they come into the final straightaway. And again, right onto the second lap where they're going to encounter these two hairpin corners. Diesel Dragon's not that far behind, so it depends on what happens in these hairpins, I believe. That's going to be the decider here of the second lap. They're both extremely clean, using shockwave when they need to, wall riding when they need to. CJ right in front of Diesel Dragon here, and not anything crazy happening because there has been contact in a while. But Diesel Dragon's using that shockwave. That's going to be good. He's going to catch up just ever so slightly here as they come into this another really big straightaway, common theme on this map. And yeah, honestly, Diesel Dragon's going to have a lot to do in order to catch up. I think when it comes to this next section here, if he can maximize his airspeed, that's going to be extremely important because CJ, as we saw in the previous lap, he maximized it to the fullest extent. He didn't touch the ground for a solid like 10 seconds.
It's going to be so tough because at this point, I mean, you can see both players both taking pretty much the same exact lines. Whoa, a lot of airtime coming from Diesel Dragon.
That was insane. Was that a quad barrel roll as they come into the tunnel section? Wow, an insane amount of airspeed. I haven't seen that before. Must have been a bit of a different reaction here, but here they come onto this final section. Who's going to take it, CJ or Diesel Dragon? CJ in close front here, but he's going to go out of this section pretty much in first place, and CJ's going to be pulling out the sunglasses emoji and taking the win.
CJ taking it away from Diesel Dragon, so my pick not going to be able to go and possibly hold up that trophy here. But I mean, man, CJ really got it done in this one.
We've seen in previous tournaments, battle of the new blood versus the veterans, and the new blood definitely won out here. CJ, as soon as he got that lead, he held onto it. He didn't waver for a second. Look at that airspeed. It's insane how well these players optimize their barrel rolls in order to keep themselves in the air. Again, if you're in the air, you get 30% more speed than if you're on the ground. So these players taking these ramps, making sure they never touch the ground. It's like the floor is lava.
This thing's getting hot. I'll take that.
I'll give that one to you. That was a good one. All right. Huge congrats to CJ making his way through the finals, which means that we're going to be seeing Diesel Dragon and Pickle. Okay, that means we're going to be seeing Diesel Dragon and Pickle battling it out for that third place match. And then, of course, after that will be the finals between Elite Joe and CJ. So still set up for some really, really impressive races. So we're going to go ahead and get those set up. But like I said, when we come back, third place matchup coming up.
Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and DHL.
I gotta get it, I'm on the mission, snap any minute, casually winning. Stop tripping on me, stop dissing on me. Yeah, I got a dream, can't take it from me. My fire's burning, I'm always learning. Tell me where to go, man, I'm on a journey. Yeah, I can't explain it, I get excited. Keep it 300, King Leonidas. Strap in, cause it's gonna be a long ride. Working on me every single day and night. There comes a time when your worlds will collide. If it's holding you back, push it right to the side. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. I don't got the time, put me in, coach. I've been going hard, time to let it show. Everything raw, give it to me now. Let me have the spot, man, it's going down. Gotta get it here, I don't wanna wait. Take what I want, then I go train. Gotta get a win, I won't lose the game. This is my year, I ain't gonna break. Strap in, cause it's gonna be a long ride. Working on me every single day and night. There comes a time when your worlds will collide. If it's holding you back, push it right to the side. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here.
Welcome to the place where dreams come true. Where everything you want can be yours. If and only if you're willing to work for them. You're willing to hurt for them. But most of all, you're willing to be first for them. Ha! Look. I'm going straight to the top. I don't know how I would stop, like it or not. I got some goals that I'm hitting. You hear what I'm spitting? It's hot. Look what I got. Whole lot of passion and pain. The road to success is insane. Stay out my lane.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Snapdragon Pro Series. Our semifinals races are in the books, and CJ upsets the favorite in our last race. That has got to feel good for CJ. As you can see, that puts CJ in the finals up against Elite Joe, which means the next matchup around the corner for us is going to be that third place match of Pickle versus Diesel Dragon. Okay, now I know you wanted Diesel Dragon to go all the way to the finals, but that was a tough race.
It was. You know, it's so crazy. We didn't see a lot of, you know, crazy knockdowns or anything like that, but it was good, clean, fun. But I have a feeling that it's going to get spicy here as it goes on, you know, because you know what? At the race for third place, because I think hashtag not last is also just as important as first.
There you go. I think that's a great motivation.
Right?
But both of these players were actually in the exact same scenario, I believe, last tournament or two. So it's going to be battle of who's going to be relegated to always having that third place or who's going to be going home.
Well, that is a perfect segue because we're going to check back in and look at those players. Like I said, it is Pickle versus Diesel. We'll start with Pickle and maybe talk about what we saw in some of those last races.
Yeah, Pickle, you know, able to not just struggled there towards, you know, dealing with the big champ there. At the same time, going for third place now. I think it's still a big title to have, you know. I mean, being able to make it this far is huge for him, and
absolutely
losing to Elite Joe, I mean, that's, I guess, not something that's too bad, right?
I mean, again, he probably has the most experience out of these players, winning multiple times. His nerves are probably way less compared to the other players currently in this tournament, so it makes sense. This is not necessarily an upset or something like that. It would have been nice to see the other player pull it through, but this is not unexpected.
Right, and then on the flip side of things, we have Diesel Dragon, right? Who, and both these players, it's got to be said, they're looking for that comeback after losing those first races.
Yeah, my pick here. Hate to see him, you know, take that L for now. But you know what? It's time to get that W back. You know, he is one of the only players so far to play 3 matches here, so he has that above Pickle, right? And you know what? Sometimes playing that extra match settles that nerves a little bit more, you know, and then plus that extra stress of, you know, I can't get first. He's gonna have that advantage at least, right?
Once you're locked into that mindset of this is my goal now, this is what I need to go for, you sort of have that determination, and hopefully Diesel Dragon, he'll get that, but we'll just have to wait and see. Looking at our track list here.
Here we go. It's gonna start off in the Caribbean, going on to Osaka, and again, if it does end up being a tie, we're gonna see it in the Midwest here. So we're gonna go to the Caribbean. First map here, first track. What do you think about that, Marv?
Well, the Caribbean is actually a pretty interesting track because it's very twist and turn focused, but there are some straightaways every once in a while that these players can unleash those engines and go pretty far.
So you know what? You guys have talked about it a couple times. We haven't seen a whole lot of wrecks. Do we think those are going to increase now that we're in the next portion of the bracket?
I honestly think it could. These players are going to be hungry forever. And here we go straight into the first match, Pickle versus Diesel Dragon going here on Caribbean. Now this section has a lot of little tips and tricks that these players can use in order to get that airspeed. And we're not going to see those nitro punches come out usually like we do see. I think these players are also focused on playing as safe as possible. They don't want to get those wrecks. They want to avoid it as much as possible. Some contact coming out here into the chicane, out onto the straightaway. Pickle's going to be using Shockwave a bit late. Diesel Dragon catching up ever so slowly.
So
these
close.
360s, lots of contact here coming out onto the straightaway. They're going to be going neck and neck right above each other. Pickle getting knocked down. Oh no. Actually, that was Diesel Dragon.
That was Diesel Dragon going down. So Pickle with the thick lead down. I mean, Glitter said it earlier, right? We're going to see some contact. That's exactly what we see here in this regulation match.
Honestly, I was secretly hoping for a demolition derby like we saw last tournament, and I'm very glad to see it. But Diesel Dragon with some overspin here. Unfortunately, that's going to negate his opportunity to come back on this second lap. We got this straightaway section coming out here with Diesel Dragon. Can get a lot of airtime to try and catch up to Pickle. But this is probably, what, about maybe like a 3-second lead or so as they head into this first straightaway of the second lap. Diesel Dragon's going to have to pull out as many speed tricks as possible while at the same time relying on Pickle to make some mistakes. But Pickle, he's got that determination and that hunger to try and pull out this victory as they head onto the straightaway here. Diesel Dragon, really nice lines here, but Pickle's just too far ahead.
I was about to say, what Diesel Dragon needs to do right now is he needs to get on his knees and he needs to pray that Pickle messes up.
Yep.
Yeah, that seems to be about it. But, I mean, man, this guys, they're so good at what they do. Now that that pressure's off, he knows he has such a massive lead. I think Pickle's just going to run away with this one.
I think this is really going to help Pickle's confidence coming into the second track especially, because now he knows he just needs to get one more.
Man, that's such a tough position to put yourself on. Again, you know, Diesel Dragon, this was kind of the same thing he had to deal with the last one, right? He lost the first match, won the second, and ended up losing that third, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. Pickle running away with this one. Diesel Dragon gonna have to have the back-to-back for #NotLast.
There we go. We got to maybe have a spicy best of 3 on our hands. The Caribbean, probably these players' least favorite tracks coming out here. A lot of players despise because of those twists and turns, like I said, and we saw those wrecks, we saw those knockdowns. A lot of times you can't really go a separate way, so these players are going to be forced into each other, forced contact coming out here, especially as we saw that knockdown in the beginning of the race. So hopefully we're getting on some more comfortable roads for these players. But, I mean, I thought that was a great match.
I think it was great as well. I mean, a lot of contact there at the start, and we just see, you know, Pickle knocking out Diesel Dragon and just running away with this. So if I ask you this, you were talking about, you know, that nitro punching, right? For those people out there who have never or don't really know that kind of technique, right? Why don't you go ahead and just kind of explain that for them?
Yeah, so when you're in a drift, what you want to do is, of course, try and mitigate the speed loss, because when you drift, all 4 tires are on the ground, you're going to get a lot of friction, you're going to lose speed. If you punch the nitro really quickly and then brake immediately, you'll continue drifting, you'll lose some of that radius in your drift, but you will continue to gain speed. So these players, if they can do nitro punches really well, they'll start to gain speed. As we head here onto Osaka, Kita run, I believe. Now this is an interesting track because right away we have a lot of airtime coming out here through this straightaway, and Pickle and I believe Diesel Dragon, they're going to be neck and neck, as we can see here on this camera. And this is really interesting because this section ends in a really hilarious hairpin corner, and right into it, here we go. Pretty similar lines, actually.
Nice
oh my
drift.
God, right through the inside. Diesel Dragon accelerates quickly, gets the lead, and coming in here into this rough terrain section, Pickle's gonna be right behind them, but honestly, this is so close as they go up this barrel roll. And here we go. They're going to be taking this lower route here. Usually you want to go on the inside, but they're going to be taking a bit more of a safe route coming into this section here. Sometimes those trees can block the view, but these players know exactly where they need to go. And coming around this bend, Diesel Dragon right ahead of Pickle. This is really close so far. That was an insane matchup. Oh my gosh. Some drifting here coming out from Diesel Dragon and Pickle. The shockwave usage is really good from these players. They're getting out of those corners really quickly. Diesel Dragon just a bit ahead, though, as Pickle, and both of them coming into the second lap. Some overspin coming here from Pickle, but again, this is still very close. At any time, these players can get it. That was a nice, cheeky little 360 from both of them, getting as much nitro as possible and some airspeed as they head into this long straightaway once again.
Oh, Diesel Dragon holding on to this lead here. He's trying to get that comeback here. He has to win back-to-back to take that third-place finish.
Let's see if this reverse can come over. Sorry.
Get it?
There we go. Oh my God, it's not going to happen. Pickle is just not going to be able to pull away, and Diesel Dragon goes into that first place. He's going to maintain that lead. Last track or last lap, we saw that he took the inside line in order to get that that lead, but it looks like Pickle couldn't do it, couldn't do that reverse section there, and it looks like Diesel Dragon is poised to win this second track here.
And then just like he did in the last one. You know, I mean, all he's got to do is just continue what he's doing here, and it should be in the bank. Are we going to see a little bit of BM possibly from Diesel Dragon after losing that one? I don't know.
I feel like you might have to put some nerves in the other player. I think this will tie it up if Diesel Dragon,
that's right.
Yeah, if he pulls this off. And honestly, we're going to be going to a third, which I wanted to see for a while. Sometimes you see those best of threes just go into sweeps, and there we go. The end is nigh, and we have finished it. There we go. Diesel Dragon taking the W.
Coming back.
You predicted this, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing, right? Same thing we saw from the last one.
Yep.
Right? So now, whoever wins this next match, third place.
There you go.
Third place. What a beautiful play here. I mean, that line, that perfect boost, able to just pass up Pickle. I mean, that one had to hurt.
That was one of the cleanest overtakes I have ever seen. That was so satisfying to watch, and honestly, I'm just happy that that happened. We could see that go through the inside line. That was a clean takeover.
Oh, man, beautifully done. And, I mean, you know, it's so crazy. That's my favorite thing to see in this game, right? It's just those clean takeovers. At the same time, you could have, you know, those knockdowns, those easy dubs, right? But being able to do it with just putting just that little extra perfection, you know, that perfect line. Oh, it was beautiful.
Little extra spiciness here coming out from these players. Hopefully in this third match, as I think we're heading into this final of our best of 3 for the third place. Again, these players are going to be fighting to not go home, not be sad that they couldn't get into the finals. But third place is very respectable, I do have to say, especially getting to this point. These players have worked very hard. They've done a lot of practice, and hopefully it will pay off.
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. It's crazy to see. It's really unfortunate, you know, that the fact that now they're just battling it out for third place, but that's what it is, right? You gotta not lose once, right? Really, if you want to be that champion. And when you got players, right, that we've seen in the past take this thing over and over and over again, it's tough, right? You got to pull out something new if you want to be the champ at this point, at least in my eyes. What do you think?
There is no margin for error at this stage of the game for these players. As we've seen, those little couple of mistakes or those not taking advantage of airspeed or these little speed tricks that these players do, that's going to get you to fall behind and not be able to catch up, because once a player knows that they're in the lead, they have so much more confidence to just book line it down into the center and just keep that victory, I guess.
So as we get into this last match here, you know, let's get it started. This is for third place, Diesel Dragon versus Pickle. Here we go, and it's Diesel Dragon taking the lead on this one.
Nice little cheeky force barrel roll. Both these players are going to be taking the more risky route here on US Midwest, excuse me. This is a very big opportunity for these players to mess up. A lot of players have wrecked there in the past, especially some tournaments before, but both of these players executing those speed tricks perfectly, which is awesome to see. And again, still neck and neck, like we've seen for the majority of these races, but at any time, if Diesel Dragon messes up, Pickle can take that W. Perfect nitro coming around this corner, maintain speed. That is a great way to make sure that you can get around those sharp corners without losing too much speed. Again, more perfect nitro usage, saving some nitro for this barrel roll coming out here. Another hairpin turn. Pickle, I thought he was going to go for an interesting speed trick. Looks like he, just at the last second, wanted to be safe, make sure he doesn't wreck, and I thought that was a pretty good idea. He didn't really want to fall more behind than he already is, but again, neck and neck. There's really only a couple of frames between these players, so coming out here onto this final section of this last lap, it's going to be interesting to see what both of these players do in order to maintain their distance, I guess.
I mean, this is for all the marbles here, right?
Yep.
So at a certain point, we're going to have to see Pickle do something risky if he wants to catch Diesel Dragon.
Yeah, and looks like Diesel Dragon did a bit of a wall ride, I believe, there, so that allows him to get some more speed. Pickle's going to be saving up for that shockwave there. Diesel Dragon, and they're going to be shockwaving up in here into the mine section of this trail. And Pickle doing a lot of airspeed there. That was really useful for him, especially getting a bit more airspeed. I believe this lead has closed just a bit for Pickle, so at any moment he could pass Diesel Dragon, but in the past we have seen the leader never give that up, and honestly, I feel like this is about to happen. Diesel Dragon, he doesn't want to go home again. No. Pickle, he just wants to get that third place, but I don't think Diesel Dragon's going to let that happen as we come into this cool tornado section.
It is so crazy to see every single tournament. We've just seen players get better and better and better. So few mistakes happening, and Pickle trying to do everything he can to catch up to Diesel Dragon, but just so far, it's just not enough.
Yeah, and while we've seen a lot of clean racing here, I haven't seen too many risks being taken by these players. We've seen Pickle almost go for a little cheeky air boost there, but he just couldn't pull it off. And again, he probably wanted to be safe so he didn't wreck, but as we come into the finish, Diesel Dragon taking first place and securing third place.
Just like that, it's Diesel Dragon. You know, my pick, not taking that first place, but at least getting a nice little dub under his belt. You know, that's going to help boost his confidence. And, you know, just to get here is such a challenge in itself. So he's going to take some nice cash home. Hopefully he goes, puts in that work, and we see him, you know, at the top next time.
Look, I mean, even though this was another third place victory for Pickle, or I'm sorry, for Diesel Dragon, I think this is going to give him more confidence for the next tournament. Maybe then he can get the dub.
Third place?
You know what? I was very intently watching that, and I think it was well done.
Yeah.
And you got to be happy with that. You don't have a whole lot of opportunity here. Once you get to this stage, for any sort of mistakes, and if they happen, they can just completely destroy your chances. And I feel like the mark of a pro, and we talk about this in all of our games, is your ability to recover from those mistakes, right? And that's what we saw Diesel Dragon do. Bounced back very strong and manages to pull down the third place finish. You've got to be happy with that. And like you said, Marv can always come back next time and go for another title.
I think this sets up a great storyline, especially constant third place finishes, and he's going to be super hyped to go into that next tournament. He's going to have that hunger, that fire to try and get that first place finally in that career. Honestly, good luck to him for the next tournament, but third place, nothing to scoff at.
Well, speaking of people going for first place, Grand Finals are right around the corner now that we have figured out third place. Fourth place, it's time to figure out our first place champion. Will it be Elite Joe or will it be CJ? We've obviously gotten to watch both of them race today. It's the veteran versus the new face. We'll start talking about Joe, but this could be a really solid matchup.
Oh, yes, indeed. I mean, Elite Joe, he's the champ, right? He's the champ coming in this one. The Mexicano has been putting in a ton of work. What is it going to take for CJ to possibly beat this man?
I think he needs to match Elite Joe in terms of nerves. I don't think Elite Joe is nervous whatsoever coming into this because, like we've said, he has won multiple tournaments before. He knows exactly what he needs to do. CJ, on the other hand, this is his first Grand Finals appearance. How in the world are you supposed to compete with someone who's won multiple times?
I think you got to change your name to Elite CJ.
There you go. Got to join the club of Elite to try and get that those skills, I guess.
Yeah, so hopefully after he wins this tournament, if he does beat Elite Joe, then does Joe just become just Joe?
Ooh. If he gets defeated?
Yeah.
Oh, get dethroned from one of the best clubs in Asphalt 9? I don't know about that. I mean, a second place, you know, won multiple times, but going right back into going down a tier, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know, but you know, CJ is no man to scoff at. Like you mentioned, this is his first time. This is that underdog story, right? He's coming into this trying to beat the champ, and he's got here so far, right? So he's got to be hyped. The nerves have to be at an all-time high for this man.
I think he knows that he can just perfectly execute one of the cleanest races we've ever seen. And for a newcomer, that's really impressive. So it's going to be all down to whether or not Elite Joe makes mistakes, which we know most of the time he doesn't. But CJ is just going to have to keep up with him. I believe where CJ is going to have to overtake is through those little tiny like inside corners, inside lines. Can CJ do it? I don't know. But this is going to be amazing to watch.
Well, here we go. Remember, this is the best out of 5. As we get into the grand finals here, we're going to start off with Cairo. Then we're going to, of course, we got the Himalayas, San Francisco, Rome, and then Shanghai. And remember, you know, we could just see only the first 3 maps. If we see that Queen Sweep, that Broom come on out. But I got to ask you this, you know, do you think we're going to see CJ go for the knockdown here onto Elite Joe?
Honestly, that is a great way to just overtake. I mean, you knock a player down, you set them back a couple of seconds. A couple of seconds in Asphalt is like a couple of years in my life.
Right.
So if he can pull out these knockdowns, that is going to be a great way in order to get ahead.
Okay. All right. We're encouraging a little bit of early game aggression. I'm on board with that. Take out the pro as soon as you can. As soon as you get the opportunity, start with a little bit of spice. That means I want to know what chat has to think about this one, okay? Do you think it's going to be Elite Joe taking home the title of champion, or will it be the newcomer in CJ? Let us know in the poll down below in Twitch chat because we want to know what you think. It's going to be an exciting best of 5 to be sure, and it is ready to go. So let's get into it.
Let's go, baby. First match here of the grand finals for the Android side of things. Elite Joe versus CJ.
1,000 Minarets is an amazing track for this start here. It is extremely straight-oriented, and will we see a lot of competition on these barrel rolls? We will instantly. Lots of contact. This is amazing to watch. CJ is going to get a bit more airtime, get ahead just ever so slightly. Elite Joe not far behind at all. And this section here at the beginning is one of my most favorite because you just bounce off a lot of ramps there, and they're going to be taking the inside. CJ had some shockwave there. That's going to pull him ahead ever so slightly. They'll probably do some 360s here. Yep, and looks like they're going to be going onto these barrel rolls here. CJ, a bit of a mess up there. I believe that was some overspin. Elite Joe with an amazing overtake. That's going to keep him in the lead. And like we said, when he takes the lead, he does not give it up.
Absolute insanity. Just one tiny little mistake. Like you mentioned, that tiniest little overspin. Oh, but CJ, he's coming.
Elite
and he
Joe
does get the ramp as well. And now he is taking that lead.
Oh my gosh, Elite Joe, he failed to get some airtime there because I believe he hit that truck coming into this hairpin corner. This is one of the longest turns in the entire game. It's really interesting to see how these players take it. CJ doing a bit of shockwave there. He's going to pull it off early. Elite Joe pulling off late. Try and get to that top speed as quickly as possible. CJ doing some double barrel rolls, making sure he gets as much nitro as possible for this final straightaway. And this is going to be very important. If you get enough speed, you can really ring in those barrel rolls here at the beginning of this next lap. But Elite Joe seems like he's poised to try and make a bit of a comeback. He's ever so slightly creeping into Elite or into CJ's backside here. And we'll see, get some, oh, he missed the shockwave on that barrel roll. That's actually going to lose him some speed. But honestly, Elite Joe, are his nerves breaking? Is he finally going down?
I mean, CJ, right, just made it happen right there. He lost that lead at the beginning, but regained it back. And you can just see right now, Elite Joe.
Oh, will he make it?
Beautiful play. He makes it, barely.
He makes it, but he avoids that ramp there because he couldn't recover fast enough. CJ getting some more airtime than Elite Joe because Elite Joe took that barrel roll at kind of an awkward angle. And that truck is gone, which means he won't be able to get that near miss nitro. So he's going to get some shockwave, which is good. But coming out here onto this final little huge turn here, honestly, CJ has the opportunity to just pull right ahead. Elite Joe pulling out some early shockwaves, trying to catch up. He'll ever so slightly creep behind, but CJ pulls out that shockwave, make sure he gets this victory. And wow, Elite Joe, I don't know if he's been in this situation where he's going to be lots of anxiety coming out here as he loses. Oh, that BM emoji. Elite Joe also with the love. You love to see it, but CJ taking this first victory.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh is correct.
Uh-oh, right? Elite Joe going down in the first match. I mean, did you see this coming?
I did not. I thought Elite Joe was going to come in with so much confidence that, oh, there we go. There was that bit of overspin that caused that little bit of an overtake there from Elite Joe. But CJ sort of recovered. Ooh, this is an interesting little section here. That is extremely hard to pull up, but CJ somehow managed to do it. Blocked Elite Joe. That was an amazing maneuver by CJ. I think that secured him the victory.
That's what it was. That's what it was right there. Taking the risking it to get the biscuit. And
there you go.
I love to see that there coming out because at the end of the day, right, to take down the king, right, you have to pull out something special. And that was definitely special.
I think that was one of the most amazing races we have seen so far. Lots of awesome contact, a bit of a demolition derby, but you know what? Not as much as some previous races, but I love the contact. I love the neck on neck, the ramp on ramp action there, and that was very close.
And it's so crazy to see, like, again, just one tiny little mistake. We saw just that little bit of overspin, and I thought it was all over. I literally thought Elite Joe was going to run away with this one, take it, but CJ pulling out some really nice plays there to come back and secure that early lead. And to be honest with you, I really think he needed to do that. He had to get that early lead against Elite Joe if he wanted to be confident and possibly taking away this grand final.
Yeah, I think Elite Joe, he needed to be, I guess, he needed some nerves in order for CJ to take advantage of this first race. And I think CJ's put himself in a great position as we head into our second race here of the best of 5 grand finals. And here we go on Himalayas, another very top speed oriented track. But this variant of Himalayas, lots of contact coming out here in this first straightaway. Will they take the forced barrel roll? Looks like they will. Elite Joe only doing 1, CJ doing 2 barrels. That'll give him a bit more nitro as they come into this little bend here around the corner. Perfect nitro, making sure they maintain their speed. Elite Joe not going for that wall ride. CJ is going to be getting that shockwave. Very interesting here. Elite Joe chooses to take the higher route. Some contact. They are right on top of each other. Oh my gosh. I don't know how none of them wrecked there, but that's awesome for these players because it means that they're still neck and neck coming into this first lap here, going onto another straightaway. Again, Himalayas is a very straight track, so the top speed of these cars is very important, and all they're going to go for this forced barrel roll, they will. Both these players, again, they know all these little tricks. You might not have known that you could do that, but it is called a forced barrel roll, and these players know exactly what they do. Can they do another one here? This is one of the difficult ones to do it. No, they won't. They're going to be playing safe as they come into this chicane. A bit of a knockdown there of that car previously, but these players are so close to each other as they come into the final bend of this first lap.
And here they go. CJ is now holding that lead once again, trying to double it up. On to Elite Joe. Here we go. It's a lap number 2. And so far, I think we saw CJ take a lot more risks here at the start. What is Elite Joe going to do? Going for that forced barrel roll right there.
Is he going to go on top of the railings? Oh my gosh, lots of airspeed. Elite Joe pulling off an insane maneuver. This is going to close the gap even more. He's going to go for the inside line like he did last time. Oh
CJ!
No. That was crazy. CJ knocks out Elite Joe.
What? So CJ knocking him down from behind. We saw that right there. So Elite Joe thought that he was going to come up and knock him down, but CJ.
Oh,
he
he's
said, "No,
angry.
sir." Oh,
He's
he
angry.
did not like that one.
Oh no, some dirty plays. Usually we see players, they like to play clean. There's a lot of respect. CJ now going for an extremely safe route. He's not even going to go for that forced barrel roll. He knows how much of a lead he has. Elite Joe must be insanely angry right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah,
Oh, look
he's
at
even
that
nervous
again.
now.
He's like, oh, I did not like this. So super unfortunate for him. But hey, you know what? Sometimes that tail,
Yeah.
it's just too strong.
There you go. And at this point, CJ is going to be taking the W here on our second track. This means Elite Joe will have to pull off a reverse best of 5 sweep. And you know I love some of those in esports.
0-2. 0-2 Elite Joe. Wow, CJ.
He pulled it off.
I mean, CJ is just walking the gravy train right here. 3 matches left to go, possibly.
Possibly,
Right?
yeah.
All CJ's got to do is win one of them.
Absolutely.
That's it. So, I mean, like you mentioned, we have to see that reverse sweep. Elite Joe has to go back-to-back, 3 matches in a row. When's the last time you saw that happen?
Gosh, that must have been a while ago. I think a couple tournaments ago, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of these best of 5s have usually been clean sweeps. I believe last time we saw on iOS it was a clean sweep. The nerves getting to players, but this time it is the opposite. The new blood has probably got the nerves of Elite Joe in their hands. This is
Right?
going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's so crazy. You know, Elite Joe going for that knockdown there to try and possibly take that lead. But like you mentioned, you know, so saw CJ, right, just from the front was just like, get out of here.
He didn't want anything to do with
know?
Elite Joe possibly
Threw it
getting
back.
his first race.
Threw it back on him. Threw
There
it
you
back
go.
on him. Well, you know what? All the pressure is on Elite Joe now. 3 in a row is what we have to see. We saw the emotes from him. You know, so a little anger, then a little nervousness. So I think he's going through all the stages of grief right now.
What is he on, stage 3 now?
Something like that. You know, I think at this certain point, he's got to go and just start reconciling or something like that.
I see.
You know, but I don't think we're going to see acceptance.
I don't even know if we're going to see Elite Joe make 1 race win here. This is going to be crazy.
Ooh, imagine. I mean, I know that's not something that you were predicting. We were talking at the back, and you're like, oh, Elite Joe's going to go and run away with this one, you know?
This should have been so easy.
Yep, well, it's not going to be easy anymore. Here we go. 1 more race. Can CJ win it right here? Here we go.
Here we go. Possibly going to need a reverse sweep here from Elite Joe on the grand finals of the Android bracket here for Asphalt 9. CJ taking the early lead. Some contact here coming in San Francisco. Again, a track I mentioned earlier, very easy to learn, but extremely hard to master. There's lots of little speed tricks that these players can do here and there, and also different routes that players can take. Looks like they're going to be taking the same route. CJ taking a very straightforward, straight line. Elite Joe doing some stunts there to try to get as much nitro as possible going into this bend. Coming out onto a straightaway with lots of different opportunities for airtime.
Yeah, any one of those little stunts going to give you that little extra boosted nitro. Now they're going for that 360. Here we go. We're going to see one coming out from Elite Joe. Trying to make something happen here as he goes for that barrel roll, but CJ is just holding on to that lead.
Yeah, Elite Joe pulling out some 360s. That's actually going to slow him down just a bit. And even though he does get a lot of airtime, CJ, because he didn't do a lot of tricks, he's actually going to pull off this lead a bit more. Hits the bus. Oh, no. There's a bit of a traffic jam going on in San Francisco. CJ loses the lead. Elite Joe coming out into the second lap, now in first place.
Elite Joe looking to come back. This is a bad sign for CJ. He does have a lot of breathing room here, even if he does lose this match, but you do not want to open the door for Elite Joe.
CJ trying to bring down Elite Joe, give him some nerves, but now Elite Joe, he's going to throw that right back on CJ. He needs to catch up and possibly take this lead in order to secure a very clean best of 5 win. But Elite Joe, again, we've said that once he gets into these leads, he never gives them up, and honestly, that looks like it's going to happen now. Elite Joe, I think he's gained his confidence back. I think he wants nothing to do with CJ. He's like, I'm the veteran, I know what's up. And here we go, coming out onto this very I guess, section with a lot of corners. Lots of players actually mess this up. Sometimes you'll see them miss that little section and go into the wrong route, but Elite Joe and CJ, they're not having any of it. Elite Joe coming onto this next barrel roll. Not going to hit the bus because it's no longer there, so it looks like CJ took care of that for him as they come into this final bend. And we're possibly going to see this best of 5 go all the way.
Oh, boy. The plot has thickened, okay? Elite Joe, now 2-1. Right? Oh, I'm sorry, 1-2, right? Because CJ, right? CJ is up on him big time. Remember, CJ just has to win just 1 more match. Elite Joe has to be flawless if he wants to take
there
this
we go.
champion.
That was a nice clean overtake by Joe. He avoided that wreck, avoided that traffic jam, I should say. Took that different lane that he needed, and finally he's gonna pull off a victory. Will we see him do that reverse best of sweep or reverse sweep? That would be really cool to see. That's got my mind boggled. This is really intense.
This is crazy. I mean, I think that was him opening the door to the closet and putting his hand on the broom. The broom is not out the closet yet, right? If he wins this next match, the broom is out the closet, okay? But it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough because CJ, he's put himself in a great position, but now the nerves have got to be on for CJ, right?
Yeah, I mean, they both gonna have nerves at this point. I thought Elite Joe was gonna come in here with none at all, but CJ really pulled the pressure onto Elite Joe. And, well, here we go into our next race. Can Elite Joe pull off the reverse sweep in our best of 5 grand finals here on Rome? A bit of a tricky track to master, but I'm sure these players have some tricks up their sleeve in order to make sure they pull out the victory.
Well, here we go. It's about to get started. Match number 4.
Now, this
Elite
is going
Joe.
to be interesting.
Okay.
They're both starting neck and neck. We're going to see who takes the early lead here. And here we go, finally. The countdown is coming. We got the Pagani Zonda R, one of the coolest cars in the world. These V12s are going to be screaming. And looks like a bit of early nitro usage from both of them. Some smashing going on. They're angry at each other. They really got the nerves. They got the fumes. They got the fire.
And Elite Joe is going to get hot here at the start with that initial lead. CJ really looking to come on back. You can see down there, DHL Excellence simply delivered. And I'll tell you what, Elite Joe is delivering one heck of a performance here.
He actually lost a bit of airspeed, though. He went for the more safe route. CJ's going to be pulling up a bit of closer lead. They almost hit the roof there. I actually do that a lot of the times. I mess that little section up there. But these players, they aren't doing any of that. They're doing perfect lines. Elite Joe, he's losing this lead.
Oh,
CJ is coming right up behind his tail. Can they overtake at any section here? Doing a bit of wiggle drift, trying to get that perfect nitro for this corner. They will pull it off. Will they go risky in this section? You can actually pull off a lot of different airspeed tricks. They will. CJ not opting for the barrel roll, possibly a good move. And looks like they're going to be going around the bridge onto this section.
Oh, boy!
Ooh, there we go. Some spicy turns coming up. A bit of a overspin for CJ as Elite Joe hits that car, getting extra nitro there. Coming onto the second lap.
Lap number 2, Elite Joe still in the lead. CJ looking to overtake him. Like you mentioned, little wiggle drifts. Nice little nitro punchy coming out here. We'll see right now. What does CJ have to do to possibly pass up Elite Joe at this point?
Well, I think at this point it comes down to airspeed. We saw those tricks that players came up with around that last corner there to get as much airspeed as possible.
Oh!
Uh-oh, Elite Joe, he's taking a slower route, but it is the safer route. Will CJ mess this up? No, he won't. He's going to get it perfectly, and CJ's going to do another overtake here. What an insane run from CJ. This is absolutely amazing racing here from these players. CJ taking that lead going into the latter half of this second lap.
I am so shook to see Elite Joe deciding to play it safe there, especially seeing how CJ has performed so far, and CJ is now in the lead big time. Elite Joe in huge trouble.
And we can see CJ taking more of a safer route here, finally coming up onto our straightaway here. CJ, I think this is going to be his winning race here as they come into the final stretch with the emojis.
Baby!
There we go. You have the winner for the Android bracket. CJ, the newcomer, dethroning Elite Joe.
Wow, I am so shook. I thought Elite Joe was gonna hold on to this one the whole way, but then decided to take that safe route on that left path, and CJ just running away with it right from there. I mean, why do you think Elite Joe decided to go that route?
Honestly, I'm not sure. Maybe his car messed up a bit. His drifting might have been a bit wonky. But that little mistake, that different route there, I think that caused that win right there. Yeah.
Wow, but CJ!
I mean, you said you loved an underdog story.
I love it.
But underdog no more.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
now
true.
the champion.
Let's go, CJ, making it happen. This man has to be ecstatic right now.
Especially, and that's why we love it here so much, okay?
Yeah.
Anyone can show up, go up against literally the veteran of veterans. I mean, how many times has Joe won? How many times has he competed? And then become a champion in their own right. Obviously, huge congratulations to CJ for a really impressive performance because he almost had it in a 3-0.
Oh, yeah. You know, 3-1. Elite Joe, like I said, he had that hand on the broom, but CJ said, no, get away from it. You know?
This was such an amazing finals to watch. I thought, honestly, that sweep would have come in. That would have been absolutely crazy. But Elite Joe, he had something to say about it in one of those races, but unfortunately, he just couldn't pull through. Again, commiserations to him. Second place is nothing to scoff at. I'm sure we'll see him return. But CJ now, he's now in the races for a discussion of, can he become a veteran? Can he become someone who makes appearances always in these tournaments? And honestly, with some of this clean racing and those overtakes, it was really impressive to see. And honestly, I think we're seeing a new name here for one of the top players of Asphalt 9.
I love to see it. I mean, this is what I love about the Snapdragon Pro Series. We see new stars that are born, and CJ, right? Coming from the Android bracket, the new champion here, and he didn't do it in an easy way. He took out the champ.
Yeah, the top dog has been dethroned. Second place again, nothing to scoff at.
True.
He's been here before, Elite Joe, but honestly, I think, ooh, that knockdown there, that was really spicy to see. But I think when it came to that second race, Elite Joe probably started to get nervous, and he was like, wait, am I actually gonna lose? What is happening?
What? So unfortunate there. And yeah, you know, CJ making a little bit of a mistake running into that bus, and Elite Joe taking away this one. But man, it really came down to that last match with CJ, right? Going for it all, taking every risk at every turn, and you saw, you know, Elite Joe going for the safe route, and just CJ just running away with it.
CJ was determined, as you could see on this roam lap. He took all of the risky routes. Sometimes he played it safe if he knew he was in the lead, but he took those routes really perfectly. I'm very surprised that none of these players really messed up except for that that little different route that Elite Joe took. Unfortunate for him, but look at this prize money that they're going to be getting. It's really cool to see.
$1,200 straight to the bank account of CJ. Elite Joe taking away $700. Like you mentioned, this is very difficult. It's like second place is crazy to be able to get here at the first place. But man, CJ getting it done, taking home that $1,200. Glitter, what would you buy? First thing.
That's I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even know. I'd have to probably reinvest in my equipment for Asphalt 9.
Boom. Get them new skids, right? Get all that good stuff. What do you think?
Get a whole wheel setup going.
Yeah, exactly. The immersion, okay?
Love
Become one with the game. You never know. It could be useful later on down the line. And you are the champion, so now you need a whole fancy setup to go along with it. But huge congratulations to CJ on taking home the title of champion in our Android bracket. When we come back, we'll be doing the whole thing all over again, but this time for iOS. Don't go anywhere.
Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and DHL.
Welcome to the place where dreams come true, where everything you want can be yours, if and only if you're willing to work for them, you're willing to hurt for them, but most of all, you're willing to be first for them. Ha! Look, I'm going straight to the top. I don't know how I would stop, like it or not. I got some goals that I'm hitting. You hear what I'm spitting? It's hot. Look what I got. Whole lot of passion and pain. The road to success is insane. Stay out my lane, cause I'm on a mission. I'm getting what stands in my way. Yeah, I'm a beast. I wouldn't play with me, baby. The way that I'm training is crazy, and I do it daily. You wanna talk about drive? I got more drive than Mercedes. I've never been lazy. I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt, push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Ha, yeah, I'm a work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Ha, yeah, I gotta be first. Look, I don't want anyone's sympathy. I understand what it's meant for me. I give my focus and energy. If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. But mentally, I'm undefeated. They hear that and say I'm conceited. Like there's no reason. Like I don't beat them and come back again just to teach them that when you work under pressure, you reach higher measures. They'll try and bring you down, but you cannot let them, and only get better and focus on cheddar. Eye on the prize and you'll become a legend. Like when I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt. Push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test. Like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed. So now let me flex. Yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt. Cause I know my worth. And I gotta be first. Yeah, I gotta be first. They don't know what's gotten into me. How'd I turn pain into energy? Through all the struggle and hurt, remember my worth, and that's why I gotta be first.
I'm on the mission, snap any minute, casually winning. Stop tripping on me, stop dissing on me. Yeah, I got a dream, can't take it from me. My fire's burning, now I'm always learning. Tell me where to go, man, I'm on a journey. Yeah, I can't explain it, I get excited. Keep a 300, King Leonidas. Strap in, cause it's gonna be a long ride. Working on me every single day and night. There comes a time when your worlds will collide. If it's holding you back, push it right to the side. Ain't got no time for no fear.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Snapdragon Pro Series, our first bracket in the books, and that was, of course, the Android bracket, which means our iOS bracket is right around the corner. And if our Android bracket is any indication, there could be some serious upsets coming our way yet again for iOS.
CJ, taking the dub, taking that $1,200. But you know what? There's another $1,200 up for grabs here on the iOS bracket. Marv?
Everyone loves an underdog story. Can we see one over here on iOS?
Back to
that
back?
would be
We'll
a
have
great storyline.
Right? It would be. It would be. And we need to figure out how that storyline could potentially unfold. We got to look at the bracket again for iOS because these other players we're going to be watching here today. We've got 2 rounds of semifinals, and we'll be starting with the matchup up on top there with Muhammad and Frog Saran. You guys feeling good about this? You know, I'm okay. Okay. Typically, I ask teams to watch, and then we talk about the upcoming match, right?
Yes, yes.
Well, little do you all in chat know, serendipitously, your teams to watch, or your player to watch,
Yes.
they happen to be going up against each other in this first matchup. So we're going to talk about them because it couldn't be any more perfect. Jukes, we will start with you. Who is your player to watch?
I am going with RPM Mohammed here. I'm going for that underdog story. You know what? And he is going to show that Frog is so wrong.
Oh, I see what
Wow.
You like that one?
I don't know.
I think it was close. I think it was close enough, right? But look at this replay. Here's what he did in order to qualify up to this match here. This man's put in a lot of work so far. Beautifully ran. I mean, what do you really see here, Marv?
Well, Tiber's stream on Rome is a very interesting track, especially from the beginning. But I actually got a chance to speak with Muhammad. We're in the same club, RPM, one of the most prestigious clubs in Asphalt 9. And he said he's feeling a bit nervous. I tried to give him some confidence, give him some pointers. Honestly, I think he is going to crush it. I mean, personally, he doesn't have the most experience compared to our other competitor, which we will talk about in a second.
Okay.
But I do have the confidence that he'll shake off those nerves, and yeah.
Well, he's in the same club as you, right? Nice little humble brag there. Nice little name drop. Okay. You know, I love to see that. You know, and hey, you got to do it. Got to do it for the home club, right?
Gotta shout them out, you know?
Yeah. There you go.
Always, always. But you were talking about the other player that he's going to be going up against. Is that your player to watch, Marv?
I say so. Frog Saran is a veteran here for the iOS bracket, and actually last time he came 3rd place. So we don't have Elite Joe levels of domination here, but we do have a veteran in Frog Saran. Here we go. We're going to be taking a look at his qualifying lap on Caribbean. As we said before, a bit of a twisty track. That plane there is such a cinematic masterpiece as they come onto this straightaway here. Now, this is actually using the Pagani Imola, a very tricky car to master. Some physics things going on every once in a while. It's a bit of a bouncy car, as some players have explained before to me. And as we see them coming onto this amazing section there of really nice wall riding here, this guy is great at doing those different tricks. Frogsteron is really known for a really good clean race and executing these tracks perfectly with great lap times and great route decisions.
I love that Frogsteron is rocking the green Pagani here. You know, that's on brand.
It fits him, yeah.
Yep, that's on brand right here. Do you think we're going to see the same vehicle here in the big time, or possibly bust out something new?
Well, I believe we are driving in Pagani, so we're going to let those V12 AMG engines roar, but it'll be interesting. Some of these cars do have different characteristics, so we'll have to see how those players adapt to their new cars.
All right, and we also want to see how those players got here. Okay, what times were they able to hit in order to be one of the top 4? And this is going to be very similar to our last bracket in the sense that we're splitting hairs, really, when it comes down to this top 4 situation.
So similar, right? So similar compared to the last times we saw here, but we do see some slight differences.
Yeah, so I'm on iOS, so I was actually participating in some of these qualifiers.
Oh, no.
And on the last one, I was like, can I pull it off? And then all of a sudden, I saw Frogsteron just completely smash me and go all the way to the top of the leaderboard, and I was like, makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah, it seems about right, you know? He woke up and just said, all right, time to take this bad boy. And he did, but can he take the whole thing here? I mean, we saw Elite Joe get knocked down, right, on the Android side of things. So now, can the champ of Frogsteron hold on?
We'll have to see. Underdog story, a very common theme here today, but can Frogsteron take the whole enchilada as we view our track list here? Auckland, Scotland, and Nevada, a bit of an awesome variety here, but Auckland, we saw how those players took it in the first time with some clean little lap times, and yeah, how are these players going to be driving? I mean, are we going to see a demolition derby? iOS is known for it.
I wouldn't be mad about it. I would not be mad about it at all, and if we do, it will definitely affect some of those outcomes because things get a little bit messy if we go full demo derby. But we want to know, once again, what you guys in chat have to say about this next matchup. It's our first matchup on iOS, and we want to know who you think is going to be taking home the first dub. Will it be Jukes' player to watch, or will it be Marf's player to watch? Now, we've got a little bit of an internal rivalry, so we have to see which of these two also comes out on top because the first game's ready to go. Take it away, boys.
Here we go. First one, it's RPM Mohammed versus Frogsteron, and we are off to a great start here. RPM Mohammed taking the lead.
Yeah, here we go on Auckland. Another one of those tracks where, like I said, racing lines is going to be very important. As I described earlier, based off of real tracks. So these arcade physics here are going to be playing right next to clean racing lines. And these players, this is actually a newer track to come to the game. Oh my God, a great little inside takeover by Frogsteron. He's going to gain the lead going into Shockwave here on this straightaway. And this is a really close match, but Frogsteron takes the early lead right after Muhammad jumps off to start with the lead. And this is back and forth here. Muhammad going a bit slower than Frogsteron on this corner. He's going to lose a bit of speed, bumping into some walls. That's going to prevent him from getting a perfect run. And this this barrel roll here, not the cleanest I've seen, but looks like Frogsteron, he is going to be taking this lead and extending it ever so slightly.
Oh man, the pressure. Looks like Mohammed is really starting to feel it here. He had that lead, and losing it just has to be so devastating as he goes into that barrel roll, trying to make something happen here, but Frogsteron is just picture perfect at this point.
He does have that veteran status. He has that composure that Muhammad might not have, as I spoke with him earlier. He does have a bit of nerves, but I'm faithful that I think he could shake those off, especially after this first race. You know, sometimes these players need to get a bit adjusted to competing live. Now, keep in mind, those qualifiers were time trials, so you weren't racing against other players. So this is a very different environment for these players. But Frogsteron is booking it down these straightaways. He is so far ahead that Muhammad is off the map.
Oh my goodness. Frogsteron is just making it happen here, going for that barrel roll once again. And like you mentioned, where's Mohammed?
He's off the map. Frogsteron, he's making it look easy going into the straightaway here, saving up for Shockwave. Mohammed, you can see him barely behind here on that map, but he's gone now as we go into the straightaway. Frogsteron is executing these racing lines immaculately. He is not messing up one bit. We saw Muhammad try to take a couple of different lines that we haven't seen before, such as taking a bit of a different wall riding strat, but I guess it just didn't work out. We're coming into this second half of our second lap here, and Frogsteron, he is taking every corner as tight as possible, actually using the little wall ride that we saw Muhammad taking earlier, maybe taking some cues. As we can see here, he's doing it once again.
Let me interrupt, Jamar. You know, at this point, it's over.
Yeah.
All right? It's like,
he wrecked at the end.
He wrecked.
Oh my gosh,
Are you kidding
Muhammad,
me?
is he going to catch up?
He's coming in hot. Frogs are on. Oh,
it's going to be close. They're coming onto the final straightaway through this lap here into the barrel roll. Muhammad getting a lot of airtime, but it's not going to be enough. Frogsteron takes it.
Woo! That was I got a little spicy there, right there at the end. I thought Muhammad might have had enough to come it back, but I mean, Frogsteron had such a huge lead that even with that wreck, still got the dub.
That went from 0 to 100 so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
We saw it on the side there that he wrecked, and I wasn't sure if it was after he finished, because sometimes that can happen. But it was before, and then all of a sudden, Muhammad, he could have taken that lead. But Frogsteron just barely enough time to squeak by and get into that first place victory here on our first track of Auckland.
Ooh, man, that's got to hurt if you are Muhammad there. Well, you know, still got another match here. He's going to have to go back-to-back if he wants to dethrone Frogsteron. But man, you know, like you mentioned, the nerves, you talked to him. You said that he was feeling it here at the start. He's got to be feeling it a little bit more now. But, I mean, hey, this is where this is where champions are made, right? You got to show up. You got to make it happen. And you got to get done in here in this next match.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, for this first track, Muhammad probably now he's comfortable with this environment that we're in. So hopefully we'll see him maybe take a bit more risk on that this second track here. And honestly, Frogsteron, that was a bit of a scare at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. A heck of a scare. I'm so surprised that he wrecked in the first place. I thought we were going to see just, you know, a complete wipe there, but he opened that door just a little bit, but it didn't matter. Here we go into match number 2.
Here we go on to Scotland, a track known for a lot of ramps, but a lot of opportunities to mess up. Frogsteron taking that outside, going very high on this barrel roll. And looks like, it's just about going to be difficult for him to pull that off, but he does. He doesn't wreck from that, looks like a bit of a scuffed wall ride, but he's in first place now. He recovered. Frogsteron's really good at pulling off these recoveries as they head into the broken ship area. Muhammad very close behind. He didn't lose that much speed, but looks like, he's going to cancel a barrel roll there. I believe he could have pulled it off, but it looks like he's going to play safe. He gets that 360, make sure he gets that nitro, but on this wall ride, Frogsteron has the speed advantage as they come into this barrel roll onto another big straightaway here.
Yeah, here's those nerves. You know, I think that barrel ride cancel, you know, just opting to play it safe, not trying to make a mistake, but sometimes when you play it just a little bit too safe, it can cost you everything. We saw that happen with Elite Joe in the Android side of things, but here's iOS, and Frogsteron has got a nice little lead here. Muhammad, got to make it happen.
Yeah, as we come here into our second lap, Muhammad is still behind. He has a big opportunity to pull it forward. We've seen how these players can sometimes mess up that airtime and that broken ship we saw last lap, especially Muhammad. If he could do the opposite of that, maybe he can take the lead. But Frogsteron, again, the veteran here, probably isn't very nervous. Oh, no!
Oh, no!
He went a bit too wide on that barrel roll, crashes into the rock cliff face there, and Muhammad, I think this is it.
Da, da. Dun, dun, dun.
There you go, yep.
So unfortunate for Muhammad. I mean, hey, you know, big shout out to him for making it this far. That is a honor in itself. But at this point, third place.
I think
you
Frogs
guys
are
start
on.
looking at third place at this point, right?
Yeah, I mean, third place isn't something to scoff at again, like we've seen last time. It's very
first.
competitive.
Not
You're
first.
right.
Yeah.
But I think after Muhammad wrecked a bit ago, Frogsteron, his scare is completely gone. He's like, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
And finally, here we go. He's going to cross the finish line. Muhammad not too far behind, but unfortunately that wreck did cost him as we conclude this first semi-final.
Wow, and surprising to see, Frogsteron not rocking the green Pagani.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. I didn't notice that, but he's going to be playing in that clean white here. Pagani zone to R. Pulling off this very high barrel roll was interesting to see. There's that recovery from the wall ride. Not a lot of players can do that. He managed to pull it off. That was amazing to see. Muhammad not too far behind him initially, but Frogsteron taking that W in the end.
Wow, beautifully executed there. I mean, Muhammad gave it all he had, but just like we said, I mean, you have to be perfect here. Absolute perfection. One mistake, it's all over.
You know what is eerie too? We're seeing a little bit of repeat situation we saw from Android. We got the quick 2-0 for the first race, same thing that we saw in the first race for Android. Now going into the second semis for iOS, will we see it go the full 3? Like it could just end up being like this mirror situation.
Possible. I'm gonna say one thing. Frogsteron looked pretty good.
Yeah.
But he did have that accidental mistake there on the first match. He got the dub regardless, but we saw a little crack, right? A little crack in perfection.
Yeah, I mean, as we were talking about Elite Joe in the Android bracket, we weren't expecting mistakes. Now, Froxron doesn't have that big experience of winning multiple titles here, so that crack, kind of unfortunate to see here. It questions my prediction of whether or not he'll take it all of the way here.
No. Don't.
No?
No wavering. No wavering.
I don't know.
It's a good choice.
He said it.
Stay strong with your pick. He's going to do great in the finals. But now we need to figure out who's going to be going up against Froxron in the finals. Let's take a look back at the bracket. You'll see that Froxron is now moved forward. That will be reflected, and Muhammad will be waiting to find out who they will be going up against for that third place matchup, which of course then means we are going down to the next semis matchup of Al versus Red Fox.
Okay.
Yes.
I may be 0-2 on picks here. All right. So, Glitter,
Changing it up.
who's your pick for this next match? RPM Al or Red Fox?
I might be going with Al, honestly. Might be going with Al. And Marf, that face looks like Marf's approval for that,
Is that
okay?
gonna be that clan tag, maybe? Oh, you
Yeah.
trying to,
I gotta support the boys. I have to support. Gotta rep RPM. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see. Let's take a look at his qualifying lap here on San Francisco. And that time was great on San Francisco. Like I said, a track that is easy to learn but hard to master. And here we go on to this qualifying lap. Like I said earlier, some very clean races, clean barrel rolls. This guy is amazing at keeping his lines and making sure he doesn't mess up. But these players both have not appeared in a final like this before. So this is going to be a bit spicy. Definitely a battle of the underdogs and the newcomers. Who's going to come out on top? And yeah, he does a bit of a weird thing here, a bit of a thing. But as we come into this section here, using Shockwave to get up onto that barrel roll. Now we're gonna see if he goes through this forced barrel roll onto the section. He actually goes a bit lower to get as much airspeed as possible. Sometimes you'll see players do a forced barrel roll on that wall there. Gets you a bit of a higher airspeed, but you do sort of go higher up in the air, so you lose some time. Looks like he's gonna go around this hairpin turn finally with as much nitro as possible to get onto this straightaway section. Finally closing out this beautiful qualifying lap on San Francisco.
So crazy to see. So crazy to see that everyone's taking the same line, but just the slightest little mistake, and it's all over.
And then, of course, on the other side of things, we've got Red Fox. And like you were saying, Marv, both of these players relatively new, and that actually could be beneficial for both of them going up against each other.
Yeah, I mean, this is an opportunity for both of these players to show what they're made of. Again, an environment, because this is going to be 1v1s, like we mentioned earlier, not through qualifying laps. So this is an environment where they haven't really been in before. So it's going to be interesting how they understand to deal with, another player on the track. How in the world, how will they deal with collisions? How will they deal with knockdowns? Are they going to play dirty? Are they going to play safe or risky? It's going to be interesting to see. This was a very clean lap here out on Shanghai. A bit of a weird 360, but that's actually for a floaty drift so that he can maintain speed during that drift going the opposite direction. Players like him pull it off all the time, and it's great to see. It's a very useful trick. You taking advantage of this long nitro time in the Pagani Huayra BC as they come out here onto this barrel roll section onto Shanghai, and you can see another floaty drift again. You can see that he keeps his speed really high up in the 300 kilometers per hour range, utilizing that floaty drift here.
Man, that floaty drift, it's so crazy to just hear every little technical turn, every little trick in the book. So, I mean, Marv, for those people out there that are not even, or just getting into the game for the first time, right? I know that you got some, a lot of information that you could give, right? So where could they find it?
Well, like I said, that floaty drift is a really interesting aspect, but nitro management is one of the most important things in Asphalt 9. But here we're going to be taking a look at the track list. Again, Auckland, Scotland, and Nevada, another great variety of tracks.
Chili cheese enchilada. I want to see some Nevada. I want to see some Nevada here. I want to see it go 1-1.
Is that the type of stuff that just goes on in your head?
Yes, I heard enchilada earlier, and then I saw Nevada, and I was like, I got to bring that together somehow.
Okay, well,
Enchiladas sound good right now.
On that note, you know what else sounds good? The next race, because it's ready to go.
Here we go, and let's get this bad boy boys started. It's Red Fox versus RPML, and RPML going to start off with the lead here.
Yeah, he actually takes the inside corner really well there. Both of these players doing double barrel rolls coming out onto this airspeed trick here. They're going to be taking a very clean line here, going right down the middle, not taking any weird corners. Red Fox doing a bit of an over drift there, taking that outside corner. Does hit that little wall there. That's going to cause their perfect nitro or perfect run to be delayed as RPML does take this lead. It is getting closer. Red Fox ever so slightly pulling up this this comeback. Looks like they're going to be doing some wall rides. Only a single barrel roll. Not going to get them as much nitro as they probably like as they come into on this straightaway here. Oh my god, RPML doing a bit of an overspin. That's going to cause him to get some air loss there. And RPML going to be losing that victory, or losing that that lead.
Uh-oh, you said victory already.
I know.
You said victory already because Red Fox is now in the lead, and you know it's going to be tough to overtake him. I mean, still, man, just looking at these graphics, I can't believe this is a mobile game. Asphalt 9 being played at its finest here.
This is absolutely one of the prettiest games that I have seen on mobile.
Absolutely.
As RPML and Red Fox going into this hairpin corner, how are they going to take Shockwave? RPML going for this ramp. That's going to give them a lot of airspeed, catching up ever so slightly to Red Fox, trying to reclaim that lead as they go into our second lap here on Auckland.
And like you mentioned, you know, airspeed is going to go about 30% faster
Ooh.
than on the ground. Marv, what are you seeing here? It's neck and neck right now between these two players.
Well, Al actually missed that upper story there on that parkway there. That means he couldn't get airspeed going down off of it. Red Fox takes advantage of it, and now is going to get that early lead coming into our second lap. And that was very interesting. Al didn't really go for it. I feel like he understood that if he tried to go for it, he might have actually crashed into the building itself. So it's probably a good decision, but that means that he's going to still be further back than he probably wants to. Oh my god!
No!
Bit of a failed barrel roll there. Very unfortunate. We got that skull emoji coming out. He knows exactly what happened.
Yep.
Red Fox giving a bit of commiserations there. But yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't look like Al is going to be able to catch up anytime soon. Red Fox going to be going straight for that victory as they come across here into this corner, going through the straightaway. And yeah, unfortunately, I think it's over for this race.
It's all done and dusted. You know what? I do like the effort, the attempt there from Al, you know, to get even the slightest little bit of extra boost to catch up. I mean, you do have to take risks. And I think that at this stage, taking risks is what we need to see, right? So, I mean, it's really unfortunate that he did lose this first match, but I do see the mentality coming in here, you know, so hopefully we'll see him bounce back in match number 2.
Yeah, I think it was an unfortunate barrel roll. He really wanted to go for that, get that airspeed, but he took it at just a slightly, too low of an angle, unfortunately, to cause that wreck. But these overtakes were actually really sweet to see, especially this one here coming out of the first lap. Going into that barrel roll, that gave him such an amount of airspeed that it caused him to take that lead. But this barrel roll right here, unfortunately, just a bit on the side, caused him to wreck. But then here we go. We saw Red Fox take a clean lap, played pretty safely, and take the first victory here on Auckland.
Take it to the bank. Take it to the bank here. So we're going to see a nice little 1-0 right there. Al in some trouble. Gonna have to go with the back-to-back to come back. At the same time, I do like the fact that we saw him go for it all, you know, and immediately, the second he got that crash, we saw him bust out that emote just saying, dang, you know, it's done and dusted, you know. So, match number 2.
This is going to be really fun.
Of
course, I got to root for my RPM boys out there.
Come on, dude, make it happen. Let's go, Al. You know, okay, right now, you're going to talk to Al, right? I want to hear that Coach Marv coming in.
Got to brush off those nerves, got to get into the game, pull out all of the speed tricks, all of the risk. And on Scotland, there's a very big opportunity to do so, as we saw earlier. Lots of airtime opportunity, especially during that shipwreckage area. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not they can pull it off here on this second lap, or second track, excuse me. And hopefully they'll load it up for us soon, because I am excited. I'm pumped. I'm hyped. This was actually really interesting so far. We saw those clean races. Those clean overtakes were really awesome to see.
Yes, and I'll tell you what. I mean, this is the Snapdragon Pro. So as you can see right there, Snapdragon Elite Gaming, right? It's all about the elite as we go into the next match. RPML has to win this one, and he is starting off in the lead.
Yep, it's a very slight lead at it. Looks like they're going to be taking different directions with the 360s. Will one of them overspin? They won't. But this victory, or this lead, has been slightly shortened because Red Fox, I believe, missed that shockwave. Now he's going to go onto the 360 on this really big jump. Can he get that extra airtime by going off the side of the cliff? No, he can't. That's very unfortunate because he needs to catch up in some way. And on this track, it's a very simple track, but again, you need to get everything really perfectly. He actually went over some rough terrain without using nitro. I think that slowed him down just a bit.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he's going to be pretty far behind here. RPML looking to even these things out with a nice 1-1. So far, too much distance, can't really do much. Oh, we got a lot of airtime there, going for the back-to-back, but still, RPML maintaining a good little lead, but it did close by just a little bit.
Yeah, he went very high on that barrel roll. I think that caused him to lose some speed when he landed. But here into the second lap, all that's out of the play because now they are almost neck and neck. RPML taking that shockwave to make sure that lead is extended going into this ramp here, making sure that hopefully they don't overspin. That's a very common thing we see. Ooh, very clean 360s here coming out from Red Fox.
Yeah, and you can just see him just trying to pull out all the stops, get that catch up, go for that 2-0 finish. RPML still in the lead, though, holding on strong, and he's doing it for his tournament life at this point.
Yeah, and here we come onto this very big straightaway. You can see the helicopter there, watching these racers go as they try and go as fast as possible. Not a lot of time for airspeed there in that straightaway because there aren't a lot of ramps, so you got to take advantage of everyone that's given to you. And it looks like as we come onto the section, oh, that was actually pretty clean from all there. Oh, and he actually avoids that ramp. I think he thinks he's safe, but this is going to get very close. Red Fox very close behind Al into this section here, coming out onto the straightaway, but I think Al knows he's got it in the bag.
Yeah, Al's playing it very carefully right here, and it does work out. We saw the emo coming out for him, say, hey, this bad boy is tied up.
There we go. A juicy best of 3 coming out here in iOS. This is very fun to see. And yeah, this was some great clean racing. Some mistakes here and there. Some things were not as optimized as I'd like to see, especially from RPML. He took some of those barrel rolls pretty high, but of course in the end, he got it anyway, so who cares?
Oh, I mean, hey, he made it happen right there. He got it done. This thing is all tied up, and we're going to Nevada, baby. I wanted to see it, and we're going to see it here right in the first match. So, hey, again, it's picture perfect. I tell you to go ahead and coach the play, right? Give him a little bit of advice. He gets the dub, okay? One more here to go. You're talking to Al. You're in his ear. What are you telling him?
Get the whole enchilada
Get
on Nevada.
Get the enchilada right here as we go into Nevada here for the final one, 1-1. And this is a huge one. This is a really big one here for RPML. Again, part of the big man's clan right here. But man, this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. So going into Nevada here, what do you feel is like one of the most difficult air tricks going into it?
Well, there's actually a forced barrel you can do on one of the straight sections. I don't know if it's going to appear, but now we get into this section here, and it doesn't look like that ramp I'm talking about is in this variation. But we will see some forced barrel rolls possibly here as RPML and Red Fox come into the hairpins here. And as I described earlier on in the stream, this track is broken up by some pretty crazy hairpin turns. Red Fox coming in on the inside, overtaking now into first place as they come out onto this long straightaway here, using that airspeed to get ahead. And both these players looking pretty identical in the route. Some overspin from Al. Uh-oh, this is going to be difficult for Al to recover. Looks like he's going to do so pretty calmly, but he's still behind of Red Fox as they come here onto another hairpin yet again.
Nice turn.
Oh, on the inside.
Contact.
Some contact there, trying to get Red Fox, push them off into the other side. It won't work, unfortunately. So Al is still going to be behind Red Fox by only a slight bit as they come onto one of the biggest straightaways in this game with a lot of airtime, a lot of airspeed. And again, the floor is lava here in this game, so try not to reach it on the floor. Oh, that could have been, oh no. Unfortunate.
RPML just doing a little bit too low on the barrel roll, just like we saw earlier.
So close,
And
yet
the
so
wreck.
far.
Wow.
I think, oh gosh, I think Red Fox now knows they can take this W. That was a very unfortunate timed wreck there, and he could have saved it, I believe, if he canceled that. If you actually tap the brake while you're in the middle of a barrel roll, you can actually cancel. So these players do have the ability to do that, but I think he was just so desperate to get that barrel roll that unfortunately it just didn't work out very well for him. Red Fox taking these corners very cleanly, using lots of wall rides here, and honestly, I don't see this happening for Al. Oh my gosh, this is really clean from Red Fox, and Al is just too far behind.
I mean, it's going to take a Christmas miracle right now for Al to come back on this one, and we're not in December.
Oh, and he left the track again. Oh,
my
no.
goodness. So just like that, Al, I mean, possibly playing it a little too risky here, you know?
Yeah.
Getting taken out, and Red Fox, you know, give them the good old round of applause. He's got this one in the bag, and we're going to see him
take the W. Yeah. This is going to be a great matchup. Again, both of these players are rookies in terms of big esports tournaments like this. So It's unfortunate to see Al go out like that, but honestly, commiserations. This was some amazing clean racing as we see Red Fox coming out here onto the final section and crossing the finish line.
Oh, man, look at that. The hard eyes coming on in. You know, the skull emoji coming out from RPML as he's going to have to battle it out for third place in a little bit. We'll see how he does it. You know, doing the nice little trick there. So unfortunate for Al. But Red Fox pulling out the big dub.
This is great experience for both of these players.
That's true.
This is an absolutely amazing opportunity for them to get comfortable with another player on the track, no longer just by themselves on time trials, and understand each other as, you know, what is going to happen in terms of the dirty playing or not. And this is the unfortunate barrel roll here that happened. Al, I don't know if necessarily that was like something you could really easily save. Those split-second decisions, very tough to call.
You know, that's so interesting, you know, because you go and this is a game where, you know, you have all these players practicing on time trials. And like you mentioned, first time going up against each other. That is a big difference in gameplay here, Glitter.
Absolutely. And honestly, I said that the second semis might go all three. It does. Really solid races, really solid experience under the belt, like you were saying, Marv. And huge congratulations, of course, to Red Fox for making their way all the way through to finals.
Hey.
That's a big deal. And we'll see that reflected in the bracket here. It's going to be Frog Saran up against Red Fox in our finals. But before that, we still have that third place matchup, which of course will be RPM Muhammad versus RPM Al, a little inter-club rivalry, if we will, Mark.
Ooh, that's true. I didn't think about that up until now. I was like, oh yeah, both these players are going to do great. And, well, they did. I think RPM Al and Muhammad both did a really good job. Unfortunately, they're going to have to battle for third place here. I don't know who to choose. I love both of these club mates here. I don't know what to do, man. I'm stuck.
You know what?
We'll give it to you.
You can think about it on the break because our semifinals matches are done and dusted. And when we come back, our race for third place, don't go anywhere.
Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and DHL.
Gotta get it, I'm on the mission, snap any minute, casually winning. Stop tripping on me, stop dissing on me. Yeah, I got a dream, can't take it from me. My fire's burning, I'm always learning. Tell me where to go, man, I'm on a journey. Yeah, I can't explain it, I get excited. Keep it 300, King Leonidas. Strap in, cause it's gonna be a long ride. Working on me every single day and night. There comes a time when your worlds will collide. If it's holding you back, push it right to the side. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. I don't got the time, put me in, coach. I've been going hard, time to let it show. Everything raw, give it to me now. Let me have the spot, man, it's going down. Gotta get it here, I don't wanna wait. Take what I want, then I go train. Gotta get a win, I won't lose the game. This is my year, I ain't gonna break. Strap in, cause it's gonna be a long ride. Working on me every single day and night. There comes a time when your worlds will collide. If it's holding you back, push it right to the side. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here.
Welcome to the place where dreams come true. Where everything you want can be yours. If and only if you're willing to work for them. You're willing to hurt for them. But most of all, you're willing to be first for them. Ha! Look, I'm going straight to the top. I don't know how I would stop, like it or not. I got some goals that I'm hitting. You hear what I'm spitting? It's hot. Look what I got. Whole lot of passion and pain. The road to success is insane. Stay out my lane.
Welcome back to the Snapdragon Pro Series. Our semifinals matches are in the books, and the best of RPM is coming up next in our race for third place. You'll see that reflected here in the bracket as we will have RPM Muhammad going up against RPM Al. The inter-club rivalry, you hate to see it, but at the same time, you kind of love to see it a little bit. I mean, it could be really fun.
I'm conflicted. I don't know what to do. Can I choose a side? I don't know.
You can.
I can?
You can.
Oh, man. Because I spoke with Muhammad earlier, he said he was a bit nervous. I kind of want to root for him.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go with Al.
Okay.
And you know what? I like that we keep this little split going.
Yeah.
Because you guys can keep
You're not
tally.
picking. You're not picking.
I am neutral.
Sweden. You know, I love it. I'll allow it. I'll allow it here, you know, but it's so crazy to see, you know, two people from the same club going at it. It's so insane. And, you know, my question is, Glitter, who's your favorite?
It's Switzerland.
I love it. It is Switzerland here. You're going for Mohammed. I'm going to go for Al. Third place is on the line, you know? And at the end of the day, that's some good cash you can put in your pocket there.
Gotta pull out the history books there. But we'll see if Mohammed, if they can pull out this third place again. That inter-club rivalry. I'm excited to see what happens, though. I think this is going to be a great matchup.
All right. Well, like you said, you talked to him earlier. He was feeling those nerves. One thing that we could say, though, is like, hey, once you get regulated down to this position, a lot of those nerves have to be gone, right? So hopefully we can see him just really come in strong and really just show up here in this final match for him.
I think once you know third place is the best you're going to get, you got to go for it.
Yeah,
you got to take
send it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Muhammad, I think he did some really great clean races. The problem were just a couple of little mistakes here and there. That really funny wreck from Froxeron. He actually didn't lose it there, which was really interesting to see. But yeah, Muhammad, I feel like they could take it here as long as they don't make any too crazy mistakes. I think now that they're comfortable with this environment of these 1v1s, I think that's going to determine whether or not which of these players wins this third place battle.
So crazy to see. I mean, like you mentioned, these players are all used to those time trials, right? So this is the first time they're really going up against in that 1v1 situation. I'm gonna go ahead and see Al, and you know, this is the opportunity we get to see RPM versus RPM. I mean, you guys don't really get to see that any other place besides the Snapdragon Pro Series, right?
Yeah, usually not really. We try to compete with other clubs, try to do the best we can to be the best club in the world. But here's going to be an interesting inter-club battle, so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens because I don't know if there's going to be some conflict in the club after.
Oh, you're right. You know, maybe a little bit of a inter-club rivalry between these two, but you know what? Hopefully it's all a good fun because at the end of the day, it is a big thing for them to even be on this stage in the first place.
Yep.
Yeah, yes indeed. But you know what? I'll tell you what, it's so crazy to see these go at it. You know, custom rooms, right, inside of this game. I think that's something that people really want to see, huh?
Yeah, that would be really cool so we can race against each other, get the best times possible, and yeah.
Throw it in the chat, right? Ask for it. Ask for it here in the chat. Ain't that right, Glitter?
Asking for things in chat. Jukes is inciting an entire excitement in Twitch chat. Oh, the race is also ready to go. I'm done.
All right, well, let's get it going here. It is RPM versus
Oh my gosh.
RPM.
we have a mistake very early on. I don't even know what happened. Oh my gosh, Mohammed left the track. Must have been some issue with going outside bounds on top of the railing or something. Now, thankfully, this is extremely early on. Mohammed has a lot of time to try and catch up, especially going here through this section here with those wall rides. But Mohammed, this is going to be very interesting. Oh my God, another wreck. let's get rid of everything we talked about earlier,
Right?
because now it's completely reversed. Muhammad now all the way up in front, and a pretty sizable lead at that because he had so much momentum coming out of the straightaway.
Oh, goodness. So, I mean, just tons of mistakes coming out from here in this little club rivalry. Remember, this is best out of 3. This is for 3rd place. You see a nice little, 360.
Ooh, a bit of overspin there.
Yeah, so super unfortunate for Al. I mean, he had it in the bag and just made a simple mistake.
Ooh, some nice little rail grinding there to get some extra airspeed, but another little 360 that I don't think was very intentional. This lead is closing. Al did get a lot of airtime back there, and now he's going to go for more. Bit of a failed jump there, but you know what? It was all good. He kept his momentum going out here through the inside. He is catching up to Mohamed. Oh my gosh, this is going to be neck and neck very soon here.
He is catching up big time right now, so Mohamed trying to play it super safe, but Al is starting to gain on him, gained a lot of momentum, but it's still not over yet. I mean, Mohamed still has a nice lead. Oh,
he misses that ramp. That's going to be a bit of an L for this race. I think that ramp is going to be very crucial for Al in order to get back up to speed and catch Mohamed. But now that he didn't get that ramp, I don't think that's going to happen as they come into one of the final sections here for this lap. About to go onto a big straightaway. Mohamed has a lot of speed, has a lot of momentum, and I believe they are going to take the W for this first lap here, the first trap.
Well, let's see what they're going to do. Mohamed is just rolling away with this one into the finish line. He's
there
we
go.
Match number 1.
Lots of terminology there going all throughout my brain, but we finally did it here. Again, Al has the opportunity to do a sweep here in the best of 3, so will we see them take it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I mean, it was crazy to see how that whole thing started off. I mean, that was ridiculous to see Mohamed leave at the track, and then Al wrecking, Mohamed coming back with it. I mean, how did something like that happen?
Honestly, the Caribbean can sometimes be a bit of a confusing place for players. There's a lot of different speed tricks that you want to go for, but sometimes you can mess them up just a bit. I think maybe that's what happened there, especially at the beginning with that little rail grind that I think Mohamed was trying to pull off, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah, super unfortunate for him there. But you know what? Actually, for Al, Mohamed's going to go ahead and take that first match here. All he's going to do is win one more. It's best of 3, and then we're going to go into those grand finals in a best of 5 match. So that's going to be spicy here. But right now, who's the best of RPM? That's the storyline, and so far, Mohamed's in the lead.
Yeah, I don't know much else to say because these players are poised to bring their best games here, try to get as many speed tricks as possible. I'm very interested to see if one of these players is going to play extra risky because we've seen some players today, they played kind of safe, but sometimes that'll lose you some time because you don't go for those extra airtime, airspeed tricks. But I don't know, we're going to see maybe a safe versus risky play style. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how these players try and take those tracks.
Yeah, I mean, we saw those rail grinds come out here just for that little extra boost in the air, get that little extra speed. But at the same time, like you mentioned, one little tiny mishap and you are on the ground. But here we go, match number 2, Al versus Mohamed. And Al gonna start off in the lead.
And here we go. We're on Osaka this time. Another bit of a hairpin specialist here as there are some twists and turns these players have to look out for. Al with the early shockwave going into this straightaway. It's going to be very interesting to see. Are they going to do break nitro tricks? Looks like they are going to get some nitro by doing some wiggle drifting in preparation for this hairpin. You want to get out of that hairpin as soon as possible. RPM Mohamed taking a bit of a early or little inside drift there. I think that lost them a bit of speed and actually hitting the rails. Nerves possibly taking a hold of Mohamed as we come into the second race.
Uh-oh, and Al is now in the lead big time. Okay, so Al looking to have a comeback, tie this thing up, and take it into Nevada. But you see Mohamed going for the nice big 360 there, getting some good boost. Full sending it on in here, but Al still holding on to a nice lead.
Yeah, I think Al hit the truck there. I don't know if that actually lost him speed, but what that did do is prevent Mohamed from gaining nitro by either doing a near miss or a collision with that car. Mohamed taking an interesting route. I don't know if they meant to do that. Seems like they're going to lose even more speed as they come into the final straightaway heading into our second lap. But it's going to be all down to how these players take that hairpin turn at the end of the straightaway and how, if they can even get into that straightaway, this corner is very difficult to hit. You do have a blind corner. Al's going to take it perfectly. Mohamed crawling back behind Al looks like they definitely took that turn a bit better than Al there back there.
Yeah, Mohamed is starting to gain a little bit onto him. Here comes a big turn here. Perfectly executed, though, from Al.
Great exit here from Al, and it looks like Mohamed just slipped up a bit. Not a perfect exit, but Al's going to have to do a bit more drifting in order to get that shockwave. Doesn't seem like that big of a deal, though, as Mohamed is still trailing behind them. and we're going to see how these players take this rough terrain. You probably want a shockwave there, but these players are opting to do perfect nitro just to stay safe as we head into a big wide bend here. Mohamed going on the inside. Ooh, bouncing off that railing. That's going to lose him a lot of speed, crashing into that wall.
Yeah, super unfortunate for Mohamed, but he does have the win on the first match, so he can afford to lose this one and tie things up and take it on into Nevada. But you know he wants to end this here and now, but Al is rocking one heck of a lead. At this point, I think it's just Al. Yeah. That's over. It's
there we
over.
go.
Yeah, done and dusted. Al has tied this one up. We're going to Nevada.
I wanted a spicy best of 3.
Yes.
I think we're getting a spicy best of 3.
I like it. I like it a lot. Here we go. I mean, wow, what a crazy, another solid match here. Al really making it happen, you know, just kind of punishing every little mistake that Mohamed made and just getting the big dub.
Yeah, I think Mohamed made a bit too many mistakes there, unfortunately. And I think that's what lost them the game this time around. Al just doing some great perfect lines, perfect nitros, perfect everything, really. That was a really great, clean race.
Perfection. Well, going to Nevada here, you know, that's definitely going to spice things up pretty good. You know, what do you really want to see from Mohamed going into this last match?
I want to see them take these hairpins with extreme accuracy. That is going to be the deciding factor. We've talked about hairpins right next to these very long straightaways, so it's going to be interesting to see how these players take it. But if Mohamed can get some more speed, maybe do some rail grindings, we'll see if that actually helps them out with those corners. But yeah, Nevada is kind of a tricky track to master just because of those hairpins as we get... Oh, I'm sorry, it's not Nevada.
Oh, it's not.
This is actually U.S. Midwest.
That's right. It is the U.S. Midwest because this is for 3rd place.
That's correct,
And here we go. Nice little forced barrel roll there coming out from the start. And beautifully done from Al. He's going to start off in the lead. Mohamed wrecks.
Oh, no. It seems like it's unfortunate that Mohamed gets those early wrecks almost every race here.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate to see. And, well, for Al, they don't wreck this early on as well, trying to get that replay from earlier where we saw both of them wreck very early on. But Al now has an enormous lead coming into, I think this is the deciding race here, and Al is just zipping and zooming all the way across these straightaways now coming into this bend, going through the tornado stretch, trying to get as much nitro as they can to try and get that momentum and going into this hairpin corner. Now Al saving up Shockwave to get this airspeed here. Mohamed not that far behind considering such an early wreck.
Oh, come on, Al. You know, I want to get at least one pick right so far here in this tournament. And Al is taking one heck of a lead. Just super unfortunate early wreck for Mohamed here.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this next lap goes down. If Al is going to take a very safe corner there, there's usually a forced barrel roll you can do that some players, when they know they have the lead, they won't actually execute.
I'm about to say, well, let me ask you this. What would you do? What would you do in this situation? If you were Al, play it safe.
I definitely play it safe. I don't have that level of confidence, and looks like Mohamed is also going to take the safe route. Very interesting. I believe they needed to also go that riskier route in order to catch up. But I think Mohamed is relying on Al to do a little bit of a slip up here. But Al is not making any mistakes as they go into this canyon launch. And Al is just shockwaving all the way to the finish line here as we head into the latter half of this second lap.
Well, it is the race for 3rd place, the best of RPM, and it's really just Al holding on here. He had the beautiful comeback in match number 2 and is looking to run away with this one. I mean, he's got this one in the bag. All he has to do is just not make a mistake. Oh,
as you say that, he makes a bit of a 360 error, but I don't think in the grand scheme of things this is going to matter too much. He's still very much ahead of Mohamed here as they go into one of the final chicanes of this final lap here, pulling in the victory, getting those nitro boosts from almost hitting those traffic there. And I think this is going to be an easy win if Al doesn't mess up this barrel roll coming up. Maybe he won't even go for it.
Yeah, you get to see him. Yeah, he actually is going to go for it here. Gonna get that finish, and it is RPM Al, the best of RPM in this one. Wow, taking home that 3rd place finish.
3rd place is a juicy finish to get with. I wouldn't be sad if I was Al. Commiserations to Mohamed. Maybe those nerves of the first-time appearance getting to them a bit more than they'd like, which is unfortunate to see. But again, just like we talked about earlier with these newcomers, this is great experience for both of these players, and I'm sure that in these next tournaments, they're going to come out swinging.
You know, and there's one thing that you could do is you can practice all day long, you can put in all the work, but there's one thing that you can't learn, and that's clutch, right? You got to have it here, and you know what? You can slowly start to build it up as tournaments go on. So like you mentioned, for Mohamed, hey, you got to start somewhere.
It's building those diamonds under pressure.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
That's what they are working on right now. And that's our third place match in the books. Huge shout out to RPML for taking home that third place finish. But once again, that means that it's time for the finals. They're right around the corner. And here's the bracket. So you can see, once again, what happened and how we got here. Of course, that means Frogsaron and Red Fox coming up right around the corner in our best of 5 finals. This is going to be a juicy matchup, Marv. And let's start by talking about Red Fox.
Well, the newcomer here is Red Fox, and I guess we're going to have another underdog story on our hands, possibly getting to the grand finals in their first appearance. This is going to be an awesome match, and I'm looking forward. Here we're going to take a look at some of the highlights from Red Fox's victory races against Al, and just some clean racing coming out from Red Fox. This was really great execution of some great laps, and honestly, this is a really great underdog story because Red Fox was doing really well. Al, another unfortunate wreck there we've seen from both RPM people. This is kind of, am I starting to get disappointed?
I kind of hurt a little bit, right? I think I can sense a little bit of the hurt in the voice, but like you mentioned, you know, this is very, very big just to make it to the stage alone. You know, you only have one shot.
Absolutely.
And it just looks like, hey, you know, Red Fox, Frogsaron was able to just go ahead and just clutch it out on this one. Hopefully we'll see them come back here in the future. But now, I mean, again, it's all about these two Titans here. Frogsaron, the American here, coming in strong, looking to take the big title here.
And this is a really, really important match for Frogsaron. I cannot stress this enough. I believe they have been competing so many times and never truly able to get it over the line in that victory first place. He has placed third place before in the previous tournament, so this is their opportunity to finally get a W here. And look at that great recovery. Frogsaron always good at recovering from those little mistakes and taking advantage of some of RPM Muhammad's mistakes there out here on Scotland. And Frogsaron executing these laps perfectly with barely any mistakes whatsoever, going through the shockwave here into the wall ride. They know how to take advantage of these mechanics, get as much airspeed as possible, keep that momentum, and again, nice clean racing here coming out from Frogsaron. I think they have a lot of confidence coming into this best of 5 grand finals.
100%. Not to mention they had that little bit of time, right? They had a little bit of time, you know, watching that third place match to kind of calm them nerves down and get ready here. Possibly, you know, bust up a little monster energy, put that in their system. Here are the maps that we're going to be going into. We're going to be starting off with Cairo, Himalaya, San Francisco, then Rome and Shanghai. We haven't really seen Shanghai yet. Yep. We haven't gotten to that match. Will we see it here in this final grand finals? That's my question.
Well,
we're going to see it.
Yeah, like last time, I'm hoping we go all the way.
We'll have to see if we do, but it is that last time of the day. Finals for iOS. Chad, who do you think is going to be taking home the title of champion for this bracket? Let us know down below in that Twitch chat poll. Do you think that it's going to be Red Fox or will it be Frogsaron? Because the championship matchup is ready to go for the last time of the day. Take it away, guys.
Let's get into it. We saw the emotes right at the start, and it is going to be Frogsaron starting this one off in first place.
This is a pretty good underdog story here for Red Fox, but Frogsaron establishing dominance here into this first lap. Ooh, a bit of a drift there. Red Fox taking a bit of a step to get ahead. Frogsaron not too far ahead now as they go into this corner here. Will they do a double barrel roll? This is going to be interesting to see. Both of those players going for the double barrel roll. That's going to give them a lot of airspeed, a lot of air time. And now they're going to go onto this jumpy section, I like to call it. Oh, Frogsaron wrecked!
Oh my goodness! And you could see the emote coming out from Frogsaron. That one had to hurt Red Fox. Now in the lead big time. But Frogsaron, you know, he's going to risk it all.
Now, you might think that they just crashed into a wall for no good reason, but there's actually a little trick you can do, bouncing on that section to go above and beyond that little barrier. Frogsaron, I believe, was trying to take advantage of that. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out. The Pagani Zonda R is a bit of a grounded car, so it loves to stay on the ground. So unfortunately, those bouncy tricks sometimes don't always work out for players as Red Fox pulls into the lead through this final lap into these awesome jumps, barrel rolls, all that fun stuff.
Well, like you mentioned, you know, sometimes it doesn't work out. So, I mean, that was a big risk that, you know, Frogsaron took, and just not paying off here. And Red Fox, big time in this lead, should walk away, starting this off 1-0 for Red Fox. Frogsaron, you know, gonna have to come back here. Gonna have to come back here. Are we gonna see the same thing that we saw in the Android Grand Finals?
That would be fun to see.
Ooh.
That would be very spicy. Now, Red Fox can play very safely here. This is going to be an easy win if they can just keep their line, keep some straightaways coming. And again, this is one of the more simple tracks if you want to take safe routes. As we saw with Froxron, trying to go for that risk, it didn't work out. Red Fox probably just going to pull out all the safe routes here as we go into the 360 turn. Froxron's not even on the map. I guess maybe they gave up. Oh, here we go. They're coming.
Yeah, there it is. There's Froxron coming, but way behind here. Red Fox got this one locked and loaded in the bag. Shouldn't be any sweat to pull out this big dub. And remember, we saw in the Android Grand Finals, 0-2 from the champ, right? Yeah. Now, are we going to see the same thing here from Froxron?
This will be very interesting to see. Starting out again with some underdog victory, putting some pressure on Froxron like we saw with the Android bracket. Will this go right? 0-2, as you said.
Yeah.
Or will Froxron just rip it out and just come on swinging?
Yeah, instantly throwing up that emote the second he racked. And that's so tough for them. Hopefully we'll see them really come back strong in the next match here. Gotta come back. Gotta come back. Don't want to start off 0-2, that's for sure.
Yeah, you don't want to be behind. You don't want those pressures. We saw that a bit with Elite Joe on the Android side, where starting out 0-2 against the underdog probably put some pressure and some nerves onto Elite Joe. Will that happen with Froxron? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and find out here, as hopefully our second match is coming up soon.
Yeah, Red Fox, pulling out the big 1-0 start. And, it is going to apply that pressure, that clamp down on the Froxron. And hopefully we could see a nice finish here, but you know what we haven't seen? We haven't seen a lot of those takedowns here, and coming into this next match, do you think that's something that Froxron's possibly got up their sleeve?
That's a good question. We've seen a lot on iOS before. It can be a bit of a demolition derby, whereas this time around, it's been kind of the opposite. Lots of wrecks on iOS, but lots of takedowns on Android. So Froxron, maybe they're getting riled up. Maybe they're ready for some knockdowns. We'll have to see. And
I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to see some of that action here. But you know what? At the same time, there's so much on the line, so much pressure. These guys want to play as safe as possible. We've seen a lot of that here. But, it's so crazy to see Froxron, like you mentioned, that Pagani doesn't like to stay on the ground, going for that risky play there. What would have you done in that situation?
I probably would have tried to play safe, but also take advantage of some risk here and there. But here we go. We are now into the final, or the next match of our grand finals here. And on to another straight section on Himalayas. And again, another top speed oriented track. Will these players go for this forced barrel in the beginning? They're neck and neck. They're bumper to bumper, rail to rail. Red Fox doing some contact. I believe that canceled out their barrel roll as they come onto this wide turns here with perfect nitro.
Froxron with that contact. Like you mentioned, canceling out that barrel roll on the Red Fox. Gonna go for that nice 360 air. Ooh, a little bit of overspin. Gonna go for that barrel roll as well, trying to catch up to Froxron.
This is really interesting. Both these players using their nitro a bit differently. Obviously, now they're going to do both shockwaves to try and get out onto the straightaway as fast as possible. But this nitro management from Froxron has seemed really good so far. So I'm wondering if that's going to take the edge over Red Fox in this track here on Himalayas.
It looks like it's totally possible. Right now, some good, clean play. We got that contact a little bit early on, but we're still looking for that demolition derby action. Nice drifts here coming out from Red Fox. Yeah, busting out the emotes as well. Almost as though giving a lap, and Froxron talking back saying, hey,
these players, oh my gosh.
Way in the lead, and you good luck.
They're having a full-on conversation while they're racing into grand finals.
That's
I don't
crazy.
even know if I could do that.
For the money, at this point, just having a black. Oh! Big mistake there. Yup, yeah, you can see the emote coming out the, it is all over. And Froxron with the laughing, crying emoji. Oh, this one looks like it's all over.
You love to see great competition, and I think Froxron's a bit upset that that mistake happened. It's a common issue to miss that forced barrel roll. Sometimes it can be a bit weird to try and go off of that in the immediate start of the race, but now they're on that second lap, which usually doesn't happen, so they might have to account for something that they didn't before, unfortunately. Wow. That was a great forced barrel roll by Froxron going on to that straight section there, and this looks like Frog's going to take that, that tie here in our best of 5. Not what happened with Elite Joe early on.
That's right.
Froxron, he is swinging back, making sure that underdog story doesn't get told.
Nope, not like the first time we saw it. So we're not going to see that 0-2 start from Froxron. You can see Red Fox busting out Nice little some emote saying, hey, you know what? All right, you got me this time. We're 1-1. We may see this one go all the way.
Yeah, I think that would be great. This is one of those best of fives that could go all the way and be really interesting to see, with especially how these players are trying to take those riskier routes here. Yeah, I think that contact there onto Red Fox caused them to stop that barrel roll, unfortunately. That didn't matter too much, but Froxron did take that early lead as a result. But maybe that put a bit of pressure onto Red Fox and caused some of those mistakes after.
Well, we'll see what's going to happen here. It is all tied up, everybody. I want to know right now, start throwing it down in the chat. Who you think is going to start off that 2-1 finish? Because that's going to be a huge advantage going up into these next ones here, because whoever wins this next match, just got to win one more.
There you go. And that's going to inspire a lot of confidence, I think, as well. Getting that tie, basically evening out the odds here.
Oh, man, it's going to be a crazy thing to see here. I mean, Froxron versus Red Fox. First time we have seen this 1-1 start in a grand finals here for iOS here in the Snapdragon Pro Series. Who's going to be that Snapdragon Pro Series champion? First one. That's what we're looking for. But I can hear the race has started. Let's get it going into match number 3.
San Francisco here. Red Fox trying to do a bit of a 360, canceled out by Froxron's contact there to go into this straightaway section here. Bit of a laugh from
Oh my
Froxron.
gosh.
I love that these players are having a really grand conversation as they are racing at over 200 miles per hour, doing flips and jumps all over the place. This is really great to see. But Froxron does take that bit of an early lead, I think, because of that canceled 360 from Red Fox as they come into the corner here now out on the bay in San Francisco. Shockwaves coming out in full spades. Red Fox getting a lot of, bit of an overspin there.
Yeah, a lot of overspin. Now Red Fox is trying to catch up. Froxron taking a little bit more of the lead there, going for the big barrel roll, but this one is still pretty close.
Yeah, it's definitely still, I'd say maybe only like a half a second or so. Actually, even closer now. Red Fox did gain a bit of speed on Froxron as they come here into our, that's a bit of a different route that I would usually take, but that's still interesting to see. They got a lot of airtime. Red Fox slowly catching up at any moment if Froxron makes a mistake. This is something that Red Fox can take advantage of and possibly take that lead. Both players doing 360s. Ooh, Red Fox doing a second one there. Will slow you down a bit, but it does give them nitro anyway. And this is fairly close. I'm surprised we haven't seen anything too crazy yet.
Slight differences in play style here. You can see, you know, Red Fox trying to pull out something special there. Gets a tiny little bit of overspin, but goes in for that barrel roll. Hunting down Froxron, really trying to start with that 2-1 finish, but Froxron's got a nice lead.
Yeah, here we see Froxron taking very clean routes. I believe they went a bit lower on that barrel roll than Red Fox did, which caused them to gain a bit more of a lead here as we're coming onto the second half. Ooh, almost missed that, but luckily they played it safe and got onto that section there. If you fail that jump, you actually have to go all the way around, which usually that will guarantee a victory as they come here onto, oh wow, what a great trick here from Froxron. And this is going to give them the lead, I believe. Red Fox,
No.
Yeah,
the second Red Fox saw that trick, it was like, oh, I'm in big trouble. Froxron gonna start this one off at the 2-1 finish. So the champ, just like we're seeing a little bit of a different story here on the iOS side of things.
Yeah, it seems like Froxron is hungry for that first place finish finally here. And Red Fox, unfortunately, just couldn't compete with Froxron's clean lines here out on San Francisco. Again, it's a track that you can learn fairly easily, but as we've seen these players do some amazing stunts here, once you start getting into the nitty-gritty of things, well, the differences between players, like we said, is even milliseconds, even frames.
Yeah, I can only imagine the look on everybody's faces that are like so into Asphalt 9 and watching these just top of the echelon, these aliens, right, go at it. The crazy amount of lines, the crazy plays, and like you mentioned, the tiniest little baby mistake, it's all over.
Yeah, and I think possibly the experience coming out from Froxron,
yeah, it's
maybe
a big
trumping.
thing.
Yeah, because this is Red Fox first grand finals, and again, that's great to be here, but Froxron has this experience and probably has that fire in them to try and get this first W for, well, their first, hopefully first place.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Many firsts.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. You know, what Red Fox can do is they can at least put, you know, $500 worth of stuff on layaway, right? That's a minimum. Someone's walking away with $500 here, but someone's going to walk away with that $1,200. Is it going to be Froxron? Here we go. Match number 4. Red Fox has to win this one to tie it up.
And here we go. We see on Roam, bit of a different play style coming out. Froxron taking a later drift, trying to get that perfect nitro instead of Shockwave. That Shockwave is going to give Red Fox the ever so slight advantage here as they come out onto these barrel rolls. It's going to be interesting to see how these players take these barrel rolls because there is a possibility for different routes. Looks like they're going to go similar routes. 316, I believe, in different directions, but both of them going to be taking advantage. Ooh, Froxron messed up that Shockwave because they hit the wall a bit too hard. But again, it's still bumper to bumper, rail to rail as we come onto the straightaway leading into the Rome Coliseum. And this is really great racing from both these players. Very clean lines, very great straightaway sections, great nitro management.
Red Fox just trying to hold on here, trying to tie things up and take it out to Shanghai. But Froxron is coming so close, getting a little bit of contact there, trying to take this one away and end it right here and now.
Froxron getting a bit less airtime than Red Fox there on those jumps. Different players take different approaches. Oh my God, the knockdown, oh no.
The big knockdown coming from Froxron, and you saw that emote from Red Fox. This one might be all over.
I think that Froxron has finally claimed their first win after so many attempts. And there you go. You can see they're actually playing quite safely here as they go for only a single ramp here on Rome into this river straightaway here. But what a knockdown. We were kind of expecting this, maybe a bit more of a demolition derby.
Yep.
But I'm glad to see it. I think we needed some spice in the air. We could have had a great best of 5. I think this still was a great best of 5.
I have to say, I wanted to see Shanghai, but at the same time, you know, Froxron said, I want this champion. I have already worked so hard. I've already been to too many grand finals, but here they go. And now it is all theirs for the take. And this is a victory lap if I've ever seen it.
Absolutely. Froxron finally taking a win here, and I think they're going to be absolutely amazed with their performance. And a bit of a knockdown there was kind of dirty, but here we go, crossing the finish line, a bit of a celebratory 360 as Red Fox also places here.
You know what they say, all's fair in love and war, right? And Froxron doing anything and everything it takes to pull out that win, and they got it. As we can take a look here, as we look back, beautiful play style. Froxron just creeping up on the Red Fox. Man, this was so close. That knockdown was so clutch.
There were lots of great opportunities for overtakes here, but yeah, that knockdown really was the deciding factor here on Rome. Froxron and Red Fox, oh, there you go. You can see it in the replay. That was a bit of a nasty knockdown. Shockwave, you can't really compete against that. I think if nitro management was a bit better for Red Fox, they probably could have avoided it, but Froxron taking the W there. And yeah, he didn't stop.
Nope, not at all. Didn't hold up for even a little bit. This one, it's all over, Glitter.
Another really awesome matchup, though, for the finals to kind of close the whole thing out. Very, very entertaining, very close. And I think my favorite part was like the sportsmanship.
Yes.
During the literal race, they were having so much fun.
Straight up. I mean, we saw the emotes coming out. They were just chitter-chattering with each other. Beautifully executed. Red Fox, and as soon as that knockdown came up, it was just like, hey, GG, right?
GG, bro. It was a good sentiment. They had a great conversation throughout these races. That was really fun to see.
You love to see rivals, temporary rivals, if even, you know, in that race, still being able to have a good time together and show that, you know, you can be friendly, have some fun while still being competitive. And obviously, both of our players will be taking home some cash, okay? As you can see, the final results here in that bracket. Froxron coming out on top for that $1,200 prize. Red Fox going home in second place. Very, very respectable finish, especially going up against somebody like Froxron.
Beautifully executed. Beautifully executed. Hey, Red Fox gonna go home away with $500. You know, Celeron's gonna walk away with $1,200. Still big money, and not to mention big exposure for all of these players.
Yeah, I think for some of these newcomers there, it was a great experience and opportunity to get to learn what it's like to play live 1v1s, and that was a pretty funny mistake there from Froxron. They definitely understood what happened there. Trying to go for that cheeky airspeed boost, but unfortunately it didn't work out. And I think that gave Red Fox a lot of confidence, but commiserations to them for putting up a really good fight.
Oh, it was a beautiful battle all throughout this whole thing. I love that we got to see a beautiful knockdown right at the end to decide the victory. Froxron just really ran away with it. Started off in the hole, right? One match, and came back and took the dub.
Yeah, I thought we were going to see a mirror image of what happened on Android, but that didn't happen. I think, like I said, the experience sort of plays out, but I think it's the hunger of Frogsteron that really made the difference.
Hey, big shout out to both our champions
Absolutely.
here, right? Yeah, Frogsteron, CJ coming up clutch. I mean, this was some beautiful Asphalt night if I've ever seen. I had such a fun time watching this.
These races were extremely clean most of the time, and honestly, it was really great to see these players pull out off stops on these lap times, and it was great to see how well these players do, especially in these nerve-wracking situations where you need to catch up. A lot of great recoveries we've seen, and yeah, overall some great racing.
Oh man, I can't wait to see more of it. You know, hopefully we may see some, you know, custom lobbies in the future, right? Come public. I can't wait to see that. Maybe see some battles on your channel as well, you know. I'm looking forward to see it. I want to see, I'm going to keep a close eye on all the names on this list because I want to see them come back strong and hopefully see them in the top 2 later on.
Absolutely.
We are always seeing like a lot of these names come back too, which is one of my favorite things about Asphalt 9 is you can like follow the journey of our individual players. And here's a reminder of that prize pool. First place in both brackets taking home $1,200. Second place going home with $700.
That's right.
And then moving on down the list, third at 4 and fourth place at 2. So of course, everybody going home with a little bit of something for making it here today. And the title of champion.
That's right. Some big cash here. That's right. A $500 difference between first place and second place. $700 going into the bag of some of our top players here. But man, it is a wonderful thing to see these 2 champions. $1,200 a piece. I mean, for playing a mobile game.
You love to see it. And you want to know a great way to close out the day?
What's that?
Getting to talk to Yog Saran.
Hey!
Because we have Yog Saran on
What's
the line.
up?
I am so excited to get to chat with you. First of all, congratulations. How does the win feel?
I mean, I'm feeling very nervous right now after this first race.
Hey, well, you got
Especially
it.
whenever, yeah, I mean, I did got it, but it's been not easy job for me.
It looked easy.
It looked easy. It looked. I saw you chattering with your opponent. What was that like when you see the emotes coming out?
I mean, we're actually in the same club with Red Fox, so we're pretty close friends.
Okay, so another inter-club battle going on here, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do have to ask, how was it now that you've been in these tournaments before and now finally getting a win?
Actually, my friend, his name is Ramazan, he told me, if you win this time, I'm buying your ice cream.
Hey! Take it to the bank, dude. Okay, what kind of ice cream? What flavor? What flavor are you going for?
I mean, I love strawberry or caramel.
Love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes. Classic flavors. Now, I want to give you an opportunity here to shout. I didn't even know that it was an inter-club rivalry, so I want to give you an opportunity here to shout out your club, kind of talk about yourself, tell people where they can find you on social media, because we get to talk about you all the time here, but I want to make sure that enough people know who you are.
So, actually from Russia, I moved to the United States a couple years ago and live in New York City now. So I have Instagram.
Ooh.
Yes, if you want to follow me. I give it to casters, so they probably will show it at the end. So how I feel about Asphalt 9? I made a lot of good friends there. Also, I have a good club now with good friends as well. What else I can say? I have my flash rock.
Oh, there you go. I'll tell you what else you got. You got $1,200. You can buy all the ice cream you want right there. Or new plushies. I mean, man, that is so great to see. And I hope it doesn't cause a little rift between your club, you know, having to battle out with one of your clubmates there.
Actually, we've been prepared for it even before. Yeah. First time I saw her qualify, I'm like, all right, so we're going to be in final together in finals.
All right, well, thank you so much, Yogg-Saron, for taking the time to chat with us. Congratulations yet again, and go enjoy your win.
All right, thank you too. Goodbye.
Thank you so much. Wow. So great to talk to the champ there. You know, busting it out, especially towards the end, taking it away with a beautiful takedown.
This is one of the most satisfying endings just because of, like I said, they've been here before, finally getting that win. I'm very proud.
You know what? He's saying that it's satisfying because it was his pick.
Ah,
that won the whole
that's what it
tournament.
was.
Okay.
Not to say that I was right, but I was right.
All right, we will give you that. You are the champion of the predictions for the day. Congratulations to Marf as well for obviously being the big brain, the entire time. I'm not surprised, though. I mean, it's Marf.
I mean, this man had it from the get-go. It was a pleasure to cast with you, brother, and I had a great time watching this. This was just insane, start to finish, beautiful execution from some top players around the world.
Absolutely. Any final thoughts from you, Marf?
Well, I got this thing here. I want to pull up my victory helmet for these predictions.
Hey!
We got the W.
Oh my gosh. We already, how many victory laps are we going to see here
We're
so
going to
far?
see many victory laps.
He's prepared to win. He has props.
He has props. I don't have any props. That's it. But you know what? Take the dub, take the victory lap, because you know what? You earned it. You had the right pick, and we saw what happened. This man knew it. He knew it from the get-go.
He did know. He did know. Very, very well deserved, Marf. You know what? That's it. That's all she wrote for today.
Cheers.
And we have now crowned our 2 champions tonight in the Snapdragon Pro Series for Asphalt 9. Huge congratulations to CJ and Frog Saran. They now have the title and the cash. Obviously, big thank you to our sponsors, Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and DHL for making today possible. On behalf of myself, my fellow co-casters, everybody behind the scenes here at ESL Studios, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Get it, I'm on the mission, snap any minute, casually winning. Stop tripping on me, stop dissing on me. Yeah, I got a dream, can't take it from me. My fire's burning, I'm always learning. Tell me where to go, man, I'm on a journey. Yeah, I can't explain it, I get excited. Keep it 300, King Leonidas. Strap in, cause it's gonna be a long ride. Working on me every single day and night. There comes a time when your worlds will collide. If it's holding you back, push it right to the side. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. in, coach. I've been going hard, time to let it show. Everything raw, give it to me now. Let me have the spot, man, it's going down. Gotta get it here, I don't wanna wait. Take what I want, then I go train. Gotta get a win, I won't lose the game. This is my year, I ain't gonna break. Strap in, cause it's gonna be a long ride. Working on me every single day and night. There comes a time when your worlds will collide. If it's holding you back, push it right to the side.
On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal.